There you go. Hello, guys. We're finally there. It's finally Jova. We're on stream number 37. We're going to talk about Young Jedi Knights Book 12 to 14. So the entire last arc of Young Jedi Knights and the short story The Crystal by Elaine Cunningham. Once again joined by the magnificent Pico and Noah. How are you guys doing? Are you ready to have lots of fun?
I'm ready. Yeah.
About peak fiction. I'm also allowed to introduce Leland Chi to you guys. Hello.
Oh, Leland Chi himself? Yo, what's up?
It's Leland Chi himself. I hope you have your holocron at the ready so we can talk about peak fiction here. And
yes,
yeah,
the holocron now says that Tenor Khan made up Young Jedi Knights and told it to Alana. Or embellished whatever happened, whatever.
She actually made it up. It wasn't even just she just misremembered.
Exactly.
she just straight up made up everything.
Exactly. It's not like people speak about TCW at times when they say like, "Oh, TCW is Republic propaganda." No, it's just literally it didn't even happen. It's just made up, like a bedtime story.
Can I please quickly point out how Greyholmes and mine picture line up?
It's like,
no comment. You look more
is short round post.
And he is indie. Oh man. And indeed, this is the final Young Jedi Knight stream. Yes. So we'll just get onto it. We'll speak about the first book in the arc. So book 12. It's Return to Art Mantell. So let's just show this thing here. We have a sun that is black in front. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's also just I don't know what it is.
It means darkness. Oh my god, that's exactly what it is. Oh my god.
Isn't it supposed to be literally a black sun?
Yeah. Black sun.
Because if you don't know, guys, we're in the Black Sun arc of Young Jedi Knights now. So we have a literal black sun. I just thought about that actually. First in an all new trilogy.
I can't believe they actually marketed it as like the beginning of a trilogy. Like
that's weird, isn't it? Because
but it is correct.
It is correct, yeah, but it is weird, I guess, because people don't like they speak about arcs usually, not like one trilogy, one sextology or whatever. It's just like no, it's one thing.
These books don't actually have numbers on the side, so
yeah,
I guess they don't. I guess they don't. Yeah, you're right, actually.
Which is weird, but you know, whatever.
It is. I mean, they're literally named the same, but yeah, I guess they aren't. Yeah, we have Han. Han is looking at his two retarded kids, and I understand his mimic. It's very relatable. Jacen, we have come up with different explanations of what Jacen is looking like here. A creep and a pervert was one of them. A failed meme was my explanation. He has a weird smile. I don't know, and I guess because like in the text sometimes we read like, oh yeah, he has that Han Solo eyebrow thingy going on. I guess they made a weird thing with his eyebrows for a reason. We have Buckslut. She's herself. I don't know what to say.
She's still a minor.
Yeah, she is, but let me tell you, she's not acting like one. And we have the fabulous, the most brilliant character in all of fiction. We have Anya Galandro.
And her thick
rapier lightsaber.
Yeah, and her bizarrely thick thighs. Like, we had a conversation about it before the stream started. Like, where exactly do her thighs stop? Because this looks like all of this are her thighs.
That's true.
And it looks off. I mean, I guess she's an adult, but still.
No, it's still off.
It is still off.
If you look close enough, you can see that it's supposed to be like a holster, but it's like because it's all colored so similar, and like her hair is also the same-ish color.
Yeah,
so it all blends together.
It's kind of confusing.
That is a weird. Yeah, they should have had a different coloring here.
That I want to point out that part of her shirt, that blue on the side there, it also kind of looks like it could be a holster, which adds to the confusion.
Yeah,
exactly. I would rather think this is her like weapons belt, and this is her.
I think it
holster.
is. I think that is
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I see.
Man,
And
she's
maybe
really
Which is
big ass
really
pockets.
weird.
Can you zoom in even more? Because
Zoom and enhance.
yeah, enhance.
You know, I have to say that even though this is like 25 years too early, this is the most AI art looking Young Jedi Knights cover.
That's fair. Yeah, that. I mean, you can still tell, but yeah, it's not.
You can tell it's not from stuff like Jaina's face and Anya's lightsaber and the Falcon, but I mean, if you told Midjourney to do a cover for the first Black Sun Young Jedi Knights book,
And there's a literal black. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it's like the Essential Legends collection cover for 000, where there's literally 3 like bubbles
three
there.
bubbles,
Is
And
literally
a couple of
000.
First Order stormtroopers.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think what they might have been going for here, by the way, maybe it's like supposed to be cargo pants, but even then it looks off.
That's just stupid.
It's just stupid.
These
she's
look
got her-
leathery, not really cargo fancy.
Oh yeah, her other arm also looks kind of like it's not there.
it looks like it could both be.
It's hidden by her hair.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
here-
as we all know, in Young Jedi Knights, people have such thick hair that it's like a cloak,
Yeah, it's like a blanket.
a thermal cloak. Yeah, a blanket.
Isn't the left arm the one that Jacen chopped off Tenel Ka? Or like
Yes.
it's not the entire arm, but it's like
Wait, scroll
Yep.
down a bit because I think her hair goes down till her knees. Yeah. it is.
Yes.
little yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't
So
sound
hair
like
is
it's too
basically a
practical
cloak.
but whatever. It's fine. But yeah, she's got her tits hanging out, so I guess that's gonna be a
That's
prediction
nice.
for what Jason's gonna be saying. Yeah, I guess that's the least offensive thing about these books. So I'll give her a pass. And yeah, I don't know what this background optic. I mean, yeah, here Falcon. I don't know what this background optic is supposed to be, but yeah, there's a literal black.
It kind of
Exactly,
looks like.
AI.
Do you guys remember in like the mid 2000s when like movie posters and stuff had like a color scheme? It was like bluish
Yep.
and reddish.
I think.
Well,
I think
this
I know.
kind of looks like that Rise of Skywalker poster. The background.
Oh, yeah, I think I know which. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's weird.
Like
because
it's
I
the
don't-
blue and the red and then the little starry dots.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I guess it's just supposed to be the sky, but yeah, I don't know what this red here is supposed to mean.
It's because the black sun is. I don't know.
Because
They
blood
kill a lot
from
of
the Black
people,
Sun.
so a lot of
Mhm.
blood is flowing, so that's red.
Can you zoom in directly on Jason's creepy face because we haven't highlighted that enough. It's really creepy.
Doesn't that look like a character who you want to read more about?
Mhm.
Oh well, New York Times best-selling authors of The Emperor's Plague. Yeah, man, what a plague that was. They do return to Ord Mantell in like one of the first chapters, and then the rest of the story isn't actually on Ord Mantell. So
Yeah, it's on Bosnia.
Do the
It's on-
kids actually return to Ord Mantell? Have they been there before?
only Han.
No, but Han is
Yeah.
returning to Ord Mantell.
And we can
It's
get
a Young
as
Jedi
readers,
Knights book.
yeah, and we as readers can
about
guess
Han.
when he's returning. Like, what was his original first trip? Because there were multiple.
Excellent
we will
question.
Talk about with the bad guy.
Yeah, I guess pre-Empire Strikes Back is supposed to be what you think of. Because-
Yes,
Yeah,
but
the-
wait,
the
Dan, have
good
you
old
read?
one.
Have you read up on the newspaper strips, or was it just Pico who did
It was
that?
just me.
I've never read the newspaper strips, so no.
Oh boy, Pico, you're gonna have fun explaining this to him.
I showed him the panel at the very least where
Oh, I think I remember.
our
you
boy
saying-
dies. Sad.
Yeah. I remember that. But yeah, exactly. They're not on Ord Mantell. They're in Bosnia. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Jason has a good point. The Star Wars logo looks really ugly. Is that supposed to be diamonds?
yeah,
So they for the older English ones,
Yep.
they had this. Okay, most of the English ones they had some kind of weird special printings of the Star Wars logo. So some of it would have like a coppery or silvery sheen, and the rest would look like that.
It did look
really weird.
Like, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a crystal-y thing. I don't even know what that would mean.
It is.
But yeah, I guess it's something. But oh well. Yeah, that's it. I guess the cover is the title is kind of incorrect, but whatever. So I guess we shall just begin chapter 1. Yes, I only have one sentence, which is that Zack fights a tree. Then
it's a carnivorous tentacle tree, first of all.
Sorry. I want to be more precise, but yeah, it is in the end a tree, and then like when he starts fighting it, he's kind of evil, but then he's not. So I guess he's redeemed now.
Can I just point out that it's around here that he says that he really needs to build his own lightsaber?
That is true.
He doesn't actually do it for 2 books.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that? Fucking hater? I understand.
Yes, I'm a toxic hater.
I got a really good note for this one. Then Kip shows up and Luke is like, "This is Kip," and then Kip is like, "I am Kip. Here's my backstory." And then Kip explains his backstory.
Like, having member berries for your own original work is quite an achievement. Like, it's one thing to have that with movies, which is offensive enough as it is, but like with your own work, your own work,
it's just weird because they would already know who this is. Even if they didn't meet.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is
just
something
for the kid readers.
Luke should know to tell these kids about him.
And I mean, they should have seen him, because the hell is Kip Duran up to these days? Like, what's he been doing? Can't tell me. Is he, I guess, out there fighting crime? Well, maybe.
Yes.
Oh well.
Him and Streen.
Yeah.
Streen deserved better.
Agreed.
Blame Dosk 81 for dying. Making Streen his partner.
And I mean, who is responsible for Dorsk 81 dying? That's, of course, Kip Duran again. So we've come full circle.
It is. That's right.
Yeah, as Kip tends to be doing, which is kind of interesting. Living the good life, just murdering and plundering. I mean, it's in character for Kip Duran because he's a horrible person. So that's good. Chapter 2, Luke's holding a speech about. Well, he specifically started also talking about Owen, so his uncle, and how he was just trying to protect him on Tatooine. He had his heart in the right place, and that was kind of a neat scene. But there you go.
Rebecca wrote that.
Rebecca, yeah,
of course.
There are those moments where you can clearly tell that it's her, and it's all the good moments in the entire book. Like, I don't believe any of the moments we believe are good are by Kevin J. Anderson. I just selectively choose to not believe.
This is the book where our chapters start desyncing for no reason.
I maybe.
Perhaps. So I'm gonna have to follow along with my own notes to make sure I know where we're going.
That's So now you actually have to pay attention. Poor you.
Oh no.
Oh no. I mean, paying attention to notes about young Jedi Knights, I understand that that's quite traumatizing.
Really, the only thing I need is to know when to say the shitty joke that's in this book. Which is important.
I don't know if it was shitty enough for me to point out. So
there are 2 of them, so we'll see.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I have written them down. And then then Luke talks also about making mistakes, and then Kip starts talking, and he's like, "Yeah, back in the day, I caused some trouble," which is a neat way of saying that he killed millions of people. But those stupid little details, what?
They were Imperials, idiot, not people.
Yeah, and people say it was 6 million, but I'm sure it was only 250,000. So let's be fair to Kip here. I caused some trouble. Yeah, euphemisms, they're a nice thing, aren't they?
Quote Adolf Hitler.
See, this actually is a nice scene because it's supposed to be Zack and Kip bonding, because he goes, "You're just like me, for real," and Streen goes, "So did I," and then Streen is there now, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my god, we both killed innocent people. We're so in sync. Yeah, Exactly. Yeah, Kip Durran made mistakes, and Luke's here to correct them, I guess, or something. Quote.
They made mistakes.
Chapter 3. Yeah. Han arrives on Yavin 4, and oh yeah, we have a conversation between Han and Kip Durran, and Han is like, "Oh yeah, I heard about you doing stuff with the Leviathan," which means that their last meeting actually was before Jedi Academy Leviathan, which made me happy for no reason at all. Actually, I don't know. Maybe
it is funny and all, but it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, of course, but not acknowledging, like Kevin not acknowledging what happened. It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, Kip Durran is really not a character that any normal person that has his shit together should spend time with. So it was nice of Kevin Jameson to acknowledge that.
It's also very in character for Han to abandon his basically adopted child,
the son he never had. Yeah,
exactly.
I love calling Kip the son Han Solo never had. It's so stupid. It's so funny because it's true. The way he treats him, it's true.
I mean, they went skiing together. Han never did anything like that with his children.
True.
That's true. He sent them off to summer camp forever.
His children
or go skiing with C-3PO.
Exactly, with 3PO. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kip's KDA is like top tier. He's like at least challenger rank, and I feel like Zek would be, I don't know, maybe lower platinum tier. And he's
think of how many tactical nukes this man has gotten.
Exactly. Like he's telling Zek, focus on improve. Just you'll get there. You'll get there. Yeah, and then Han and his kids want to spend some quality time, which is kind of revolutionary. So there you go. And they want to oh yeah. And they were gonna go see a race on Ort Mantell, and Han is like, he really doesn't want to join the race. It's because he doesn't want to be that rowdy like he used to be while his kids are present, which is good. But yeah, he's like he seems to be scheming about something. So I was just like, okay, I'll wait what'll happen here. Chapter 4. Yeah, we have so they arrive on Ort Mantell, and Han actually allows Jaina to land the Falcon, and she's excited that she's allowed to, and also she's very excited that he's proud of her when she does well. So that was kind of neat, Yeah. That's all I had. Even it's like, wow. I was kind of surprised. He has one son that he never had, which was Kip Durran. I mean, Kevin Jameson knew that, of course, but now he's actually off screen. He's actually adopted 3 kids. It's kind of funny. They're called Jacen, Jaina, and Anakin. You might have heard of them. Side characters, really not that important, but
yeah, I think they came with his wife, like a mail order bride thing.
Exactly. It was like, buy 4, pay for 1, that kind of deal. Which, I mean, it's a good deal. Like you get more, I don't know, unpaid labor if you wish for that. And chapter 5, we are introduced to, I guess, Zethros is what you would say in English.
Yeah, Zethros.
Yeah, in my mind I always said Chethros, I guess, in the German, but yeah, Zethros is here. And it's a dude that Han in the past sent to Kessel, and apparently he holds no grudge, which of course that's not gonna last.
And he's definitely not that character from the Marvel series, from the
Score
series. Yes.
Yeah, he's not Score, and he's not any of the other half a dozen bounty hunters that Han ran into on Ort Mantell.
No, of course not.
He's a completely new one.
He's definitely not dead as well. Han on Ort Mantell, a very famously hostile planet, or at least, it's kind of lawlessness that's ruling there. Han, of course, is there unarmed and without any guards, which is interesting because we never had that situation before where Han went somewhere and he wasn't prepared to go there. So that's crazy, right? That's a new thing. We get to read on some revolutionary stuff here.
But if you think about it, the New Republic doesn't care about Han.
Yeah, because
actively hate him.
We have actually established that they hate him and want him to die.
Yeah, we've had multiple instances of that actually, so that's kind of crazy. If you want to make the argument that the EU always was consistent, I guess the New Republic's hatred for Han would be a good proof of that. So,
it would be funny if it was intentional.
It would be funny. Oh, Leland Chi left us. I'm sure he just lost his holocron. He'll be
he's just got to re-input all this into the holocron because
exactly
the YGK part just broke.
Yeah, when we started speaking about it, he's like, "Oh wait, this isn't in the holocron. It doesn't function properly." So he'll fix it and he'll be here shortly, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly like a pack. Yeah, but it's actually the free DLC, so you don't even have to pay additionally for that. You just get them for free.
Civet is back with the same comment as last time.
Yes. The day keeps changing, just so I provoke a comment from Civet every time.
It's gonna be like every day earlier now. It used to be Sunday, then it was Saturday, now it's Friday. Next time is Thursday.
We'll just move back. I know, Civet, I don't have time tomorrow, and we want to get this over with, so we're like, let's do it today.
Civet, he's reading New Jedi Order. He's actually doing it.
Exactly. I'm halfway through Vector Prime, even more so already.
He doesn't hate it. It's amazing.
I have a good time with Star Wars. I can't believe it. It's Jova. Yeah, it is Jova. Matt, yeah. Post your Fs in the chat for Leland Chi. I'm sure he's out there fighting the good fight. All right, chapter 6.
Oh, good question. It's up for interpretation.
The thing is, I would like to have a chronology guy on here to discuss that, but he just jumped out of.
I would also like to point out how racist that is, Jacen.
Yeah, like Short Round is an Asian, and this kid, I suppose, is Mexican, and you just assumed that they're all the same because.
How dare you assume his nationality? I mean, look at this clearly Asian kid.
Yeah, Noah's just being an asshole, Jacen. Like always, everything's normal.
How am I an asshole here? This is a great picture.
Yeah, I'm sure. Chapter 6. Yeah, so before the actual race begins, there's supposed to be like a test drive of the course, and of course, who's gonna do it? Han is the one who's gonna do the test drive.
That's why he's here.
That's why he's here, famously. Yeah, he just told us 2 chapters ago that he doesn't want to do that, but now he wants to. But he's now like, okay, how cool would it be if I actually did the test drive, but I was faster than anybody participating in the actual race? So he's going all out. But then there's space mines on the track. Yeah.
With him being faster than anyone else on the race, this gives like Phantom Menace flashbacks.
It's like that movie that hasn't come out yet. So
if it had, Kevin would have referenced it directly. This is just like the Buntaif.
I mean,
yeah,
he didn't have that many things to reference because he only had the movies. So if all 6 movies were out by the time Kevin J. Anderson started writing, he definitely would have always, even if it was in another era, he would have always referenced the prequel era for sure.
No, this is pod racing, quote Han Solo.
Something I just realized: was there any actual reason to mine the track? Like, what does that actually accomplish in this book?
I think there was an explanation for why it would even happen. Oh yeah, wait, it's in the next chapter, but I think in the end it doesn't even matter. I had to say that one, but yeah, I think there is ultimately no point to that. Yeah, because in chapter 7 they started to speculate why the mines would even be there, and they determined that they are probably from an illegal weapons transport to a nearby war-torn planet, so that the planet Bosnia. But I don't know why they thought that would be it. Yeah, beats me. I don't know.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and then the actual race begins, and Zek, Tenel Ka, and Loey, they participate in the Rock Dragon and they win.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Whatever. Wait. I'm surprised someone didn't make that retcon connection later. Yeah. It's like, yeah, exactly. There might have been like a short story before Phantom Menace where Anakin Skywalker is like, he remembers. Oh no, wait, other way around. Han Solo is like, yeah, I was inspired by that little kid called Anakin Skywalker. He won the Bonta Eve Classic.
I mean, Han already knows about this chronologically. You remember Tatooine Ghost?
Tatooine Ghost, yeah. Which is, to be fair, the only way he should ever find out about it is if he's literally there. But then again, it should be a big deal that a literal preteen won like one of the most dangerous races in the entire galaxy.
Which is a problem with the movie.
Yeah, it is. But man, those kinds of contradictions, now that we've gone through the Bantam era, they seem so harmless. Like,
well,
going
see, that one's a problem with the movie because it kind of contradicts Episode 4.
Yeah, true. that is like, people should know the name Skywalker, especially in Tatooine. Yeah. Yeah, but still, like, even then, I was like, I mean, going through Young Jedi Knights, I had these moments where I'm like, I'm sorry, George Lucas, I treated you too harshly. I think, like, the horrible moments you had, man, that's like nothing compared to this. They called him the Phantom Menace on the Bonta Eve Classic. Why not? Yeah, maybe. Joss Whedon has produced good things, so that wouldn't be fair. Kevin J. Anderson, I don't think, has ever produced anything of quality in his life, other than maybe something regarding nuclear weapons. I guess he hasn't gotten us into a nuclear war, so that's a testament to his work.
Yeah, that's good.
Joss Whedon can make movies and shows, so that's it. Chapter 8. Oh yeah, I was like, yeah, I waited because the story didn't start out too shabbily, actually. Like, it was fine still. So I knew, like, I waited for the moment where Kevin just began.
Reared his head.
And yeah. And here we are now. Because it seems that in the hangar where the Millennium Falcon is staying, they are keeping the evidence about the space mine incident. So I think the shells of the mines are just literally lying around in the hangar bay openly. So, because there's like some enemies. It was like weird lizard people, I think, or something. They literally just walk up to that and take it with them. There's nobody there. There's no guards present. There, of course, are no soldiers of the New Republic. It's not even stored in their ship. It's just laying around, ready to be picked up.
On a workbench.
Yeah, it's literally like, yeah, here it is.
Perfect timing. We got a Jacen joke.
Oh no. Okay.
This one's okay. Because
it is okay. Then shoot. What is it?
Hey, stop me if you heard this one. A bounty hunter, a Jedi Knight, and a Jawa trader walk into a cantina, and then everyone else goes, we've heard that one, and then doesn't let Jacen finish because that's base as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, this is actually chapter 6, so because your chapters are all whack.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know where I've got these PDFs from, but
probably from me.
Probably from you, and they're edited incorrectly. I have, for some reason, far more chapters than actually are in the book. So I guess, I mean, it's not even that important. Like, the story is the same, but it's weird because, yeah, I have chapters that don't exist. So
strange.
Which isn't the weirdest thing about Young Jedi Knights, I suppose. So take that what you. Maybe, yeah, at the end, even the editors were like, I won't bother. But there you go. And yeah, so while the lizards are attacking them, they're of course about to get their asses kicked. But then they get saved by the daughter of that character from the Daily Solo books, Anya Galandro. So the daughter of Galandro from the Han Solo trilogy, the Daily solo trilogy, and yeah, she has a lightsaber, but of course she has no formal training because she's real tough and doesn't need all that elite mumbo jumbo training, end quote. And then she's angry because Han murdered her father, apparently.
My name is Anya Galadriel. You killed my father.
Basically, I think the name was inspired by that.
Fabe, are you also now going to start there? No, you're joking. Yeah, I am fully under the impression that there is no character for Jacen and Young Jedi Knights that you could even theoretically contradict if you made a point of doing that. Jacen has no character. The same with Jaina. Jacen and Jaina both have no character.
But he loves animals and he likes making jokes.
A kid that likes animals is literally a normal kid. That's not a character. And a kid liking cool machines, that's also just a kid. That's not a character. Yeah, both Jaina and Jacen are literal blank slates. They have nothing to contradict if you made a point out of doing that. They have no arc in this entire series. So yeah. I guess so. Yeah, I'll stop naming chapters because they're obviously incorrect. So yeah. Go. He finished Shatterpoint, so that's actually not fair. He has actually finished Shatterpoint, so he can comment how.
You want to talk a bit about Anya Galandro? Do you even... I think you read the Daily Trilogy. Do you even remember Galandro?
I remember the name Galandro, yeah, like him being a gunslinger and like the quickest draw in the galaxy or something. Cool. Yeah, I remember him. I don't care about him too much. I don't think I liked him because he was in scenes that to me didn't make a lot of sense. I couldn't tell you what precisely I mean by that because it's been too long for me to remember. I have the stream up there because I talked about all these books. But yeah, when I read the name, I knew it was the daily Han Solo character because the name is pretty, obvious. But other than that, it's an obscure reference. I guess it's one of the less offensive references because it's actually like part of the story. Yeah, that's it really. But yeah.
Honestly, this could have been the best work of Kevin in terms of references, because the Anya Galandro thing actually ties into the story. Same with, well, if Xephiros, our main villain, was actually Score, that also could have worked.
Because that wouldn't actually be that isn't a lazy, hey, this is just like this scene from this movie that you've watched. No, it's like it's referencing a story that happened and it's continuing to write it. So
it's actually a shared universe at that point. It's not that's how a shared universe is supposed to work.
Yeah, similar to what happened during the courtship of Princess Leia.
Exactly.
Available in Barnes and Noble now for $12.
Han actually saw many Rancors there.
Exactly, I remember that. No, like this is, I mean, it's kind of the bare minimum, which is kind of sad to even say. But yeah, this is like, okay, the actions of Han Solo's past have consequences, and it makes these books mildly more relevant than they were before. And it's like, oh yeah, now his past comes to haunt him in this specific story because his daughter is here now and she's pissed at Han. That's an attempt at something, and I can at least give him that. That the fact that she's a shit character kind of negates that whole thing. But
how dare you? Our first drug-addicted main character.
I guess she was the inspiration for. Wait, who else? Yeah, Kate Skywalker, I guess.
Yeah, Kate. Yeah,
Kate. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ironically, his cousin is also named Anya.
There you go. Maybe that was a reference all along.
Yeah, I'm not wrong.
Yes. It's I always call it, I think, connections for the lowest common denominator. Like,
I say continuity porn.
Continuity porn is also acceptable. It's not that certain actions have understandable consequences and therefore the previous things need to be mentioned. It's just, hey, this is exactly like when this happened in this other work. That's not continuity. That's not smart. I can write down a scene where I'm like, hey, remember when this happened? That doesn't prove
Tion
anything.
started telling stories of the tales of the Jedi.
Exactly. Now,
I think that one can work. It's just it was written very poorly.
Yeah, like you can make something out of it because, of course, there would
She's
be
a
somebody.
teacher, so
She's a teacher. She likes Jedi history. There should be somebody who does, obviously, and you could do things with that. But like when we read Firestorm, I mean, she was at the literal place where Nomi Sunrider was as well. That's kind of course she would talk about that then, because yeah, she's literally standing in the same place. But other than that, just mentioning, hey, remember this, that's not continuity. And I feel like more people believe that than they should. Yeah. The other thing is,
why are you bothering?
It all
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
It was
can we
well
finish
planned.
this one already?
we will try.
It's painful.
It is painful, yeah. Exactly. Then I wrote it down in this way that Anya holds a quote top 10 anime hero speeches conversation with Han where she's like, I get, oh, you're horrible and you did all these things that I never deserved. My father was a good boy. He didn't do anything wrong. And but then she's to Han like, oh, you're too worthless to kill. And oh, by the way, it's also your fault that my planet is still trapped in the galactic civil war. Yeah, that's a thing. At some point, her home planet was separated into like miners and farmers. The miners were pro-empire, I think. The farmers are pro-rebellion. And since the actual galactic civil war has ended, they haven't moved from that status quo. They're still in a perpetual state of war based on things that aren't even happening anymore.
Yes.
She blames Han for that as well, because Han is part of
Because Han's a scapegoat.
yeah, Han's
It's Han Solo.
Han
Of
is an
course you
easy
can blame Han
scapegoat
Solo.
if
You
you
can
have no
always blame
story to
Han
tell.
Solo.
It's always Han Solo. Everything is Han Solo. And then she's like, oh yeah, if you have the balls and aren't just a spokesperson for the New Republic, you'll go there. And Han, of course, does, because Kevin J. That's the only justification I wrote down. Han, of course, does what she's telling him because Kevin J. Anderson is the author of this book. That's really all justification that's given. It's like, this is a book that I'm writing, therefore this character is going to do these things now. Yeah.
Like, shouldn't he call Leia at this point and be like, "Hey, there's this planet."
Yeah. Isn't it kind of weird that we have
Some
a
would think so.
that's still trapped in a conflict that is actually long? Like, the Empire and the New Republic are at peace. The conflict's over. Like, hello?
But Kevin couldn't really say that. It would have spoiled Vision of the Future.
Didn't this book come after that? But it also doesn't matter because it's
it also wouldn't matter. Like, you could even, I mean, yeah, it would have to be pointed out if characters tried it, which kind of begs the question of maybe this kind of story doesn't work before the peace treaty book has been released. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe Kevin could have done another story that wouldn't be senseless. But yeah. No, it's not a weakness of having multiple authors. Multiple authors is perfectly reasonable if you have somebody at the top who says, this is the story that needs to be told. Hey, you authors, you need to have these milestones in your book. And other than that, do as you please.
Zahn was not a fan of that approach, should be noted.
well, sucks to be
Sure,
done.
but yes, yeah, I mean, I love Zahn, and he wrote the better works of the Bantam era. But yeah, if somebody from Lucasfilm says, well, screw what you think, just tell these things, I'm sure he would have done it, because in the end, it wouldn't have changed probably too much about his books, because he wrote the better books of the Bantam era and not the worst ones. There you go. Han is, yeah, and not the good parts of Han, just the bad parts. Person at the top was KJA.
Yes,
that would explain it. Yeah,
it was KJA, then Lucino, and then Denning.
and it's
Which one was the good one? Do you think?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was the guy who writes good books. Is that a crazy thing to believe?
Am I brain leaking, or was Lucino also like one of the top guys with like the Clone Wars multimedia project?
That is correct.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was the overall coordinator.
Okay, so he's behind New Jedi Order and Clone Wars. Not
That is correct.
completely alone, but obviously he was like the creative guy. So
He was the head.
He was one of the main people in charge of both.
okay, fair.
This man right here. Look at him.
I mean, he
Yeah,
kind
this
of
legend.
he kind of frames the entire era. I mean, he has Plagueis, and I think the end of the multimedia project, like in universe, is Labyrinth of Evil, right? So he concludes the era basically and leads it into.
He has an epilogue.
And the epilogue he does afterwards as well. Yeah, I think that's fair.
And then NJO.
And then NGO, yeah. Oh well. Yeah, so Anya. Anya then, after she holds her anime speech, she runs away. And she's thinking like, oh, his reaction was so priceless. His kids, they probably doubt him now. And oh yeah, his life was so easy. He had it, he was really lucky. I don't know, but wasn't at this point at least the first AC Crispin Han Solo book released?
This is 98, I think.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, I'm
May
pretty sure it was out.
1998.
Yeah.
And let's see.
Yeah.
I got
mean-
the page open. One sec. All three were out.
There you go. Yeah, the point is, Han Solo didn't have it easy, and at this point, no, but whatever. And then in a shocking turn of events, and nobody could have seen this coming, Zethros is actually the guy who's responsible for all of this happening.
What?
No.
Nine. Doch.
Not this well-established character.
Yeah, exactly.
That-
This
that-
guy
yeah.
that I know so much about.
This-
It's a really Kevin thing to do this, to introduce a random side character that behaves weirdly, and you're like, he is the evil guy. I know that. It's the random Bothan soldier from the Diversity Alliance. It's like, oh yeah, you're this weird character that's just staring at the main characters.
That has showed up.
Yeah, just showed up for no reason at all.
In Zethros' case, the only thing we know about him is that he has a history with Han, and Han betrayed him.
And he's every reason to hate him.
At what point do we go in depth with like Zethros and that backstory for people? Who may not
I
know?
think the last book.
The last book.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no clue about his backstory, so I don't particularly care. Whenever you guys say it makes most sense.
I mean, we have to talk about the basics right here because this was the beginning and how hastily this was
That's fair,
rewritten
that's fair.
because of it.
Yeah. So basically, Zethros was supposed to be another character named Score from the newspaper strips.
Mhm.
And that's why he has this exact same backstory as Score from the newspaper strip.
And the exact same design. Like, they look identical, but obviously there is no official artwork of what Zethros looks like.
Mhm.
But he's described the same. He has like a red cybernetic eye thing on his head. He's like this alien type. I don't remember which exactly. And yeah. And Han talks about tricking him and getting him arrested, by the Imperials, which is what happens to Score. And then somebody, apparently literally at the very, very last minute, told Kevin, oh no, there was this one issue in the newspaper strips later on where he dies.
Which is
And so
a big deal.
these, I assume all three of these books got rewritten, and by rewritten I mean they just
Replace the name.
Yeah, search and replace Score with Zethros. And they didn't touch anything else, apparently.
Well, they added that one sentence before he mentioned Zethros, where he there was also Score.
Obviously. And it's just
continuity, guys, by the way.
If you didn't already know these books were rushed out, like this is a good example, like how would it take that long, like to just change at least his design?
No.
So that he doesn't look like Score?
A person who gave a fuck wouldn't mind.
Hmm.
That's just me. Yeah. Like Labyrinth of Evil. The Labyrinth of Evil is, and Plagueis as well, of course, is continuity porn, but good actually. That's like the good continuity porn. That's yeah.
I still don't get people who diss LOE. Supposedly,
they can just be wrong. That's fine.
Characterization is wrong somehow.
They can be wrong. That's fine.
Exactly. Lots of people believe lots of things, and lots of people are also wrong. That's totally okay. Yeah, exactly. No, all of these similarities are just coincidences. You're making this up.
Of course. This was obviously planned out.
Of course, yeah. They always knew what they were going to do. And yeah, of course, now that Han's kids were almost killed by weird chameleons, he of course doesn't go back to Coruscant, because why the hell would he? He goes to he decides to go to Anubis, so the planet Bosnia where Anya is from. And Anya is also, she doesn't verify it, but she's very confident that he will go there now that she challenged him to do so, and that she will actually be able to join them in their journey there, which I don't understand why he would do that. The thing is, all of these things are correct. That's the frustrating part. She's correct with all of them, of course, because that's what Han's going to do, because he's stupid. He's written by Kevin J. Anderson. But the fact that it does, it's just like, yeah, it'll happen because it'll happen. Yeah. Oh yeah, before, by the way, Zethros, he's responsible for all of this, and the chameleons, he sent them there to actually take the evidence about the mines. And he also supplies Anya with drugs.
Yeah.
Is
it
Drugs are bad.
Death sticks, right?
No, it's spice.
It's not fun drug.
Right.
Which, if you can't tell, is usually the clear indicator that a character is evil. Supplying somebody with drugs is, not the fine way of doing things. But yeah, exactly. She's confident that Han will go to Anubis. And yeah, I said this thought process of hers is so retarded that I absolutely know it'll be true. And yeah, as it turned out, it was true.
This is giving me a genuine headache.
Yeah,
exactly. Referencing a bunch of things is a neutral thing in and of itself. If your book is shit, then the blind references are also shit. But if your book is good and the references make sense also, I mean, they need to be understandable. There needs to be a reason why they even get brought up in the first place. Then it's great. And Lucino knows how to do that. So
there was a simple reason to bring up how the situation was similar to the courtship of Princess Leia and the truce at Bakura.
Now available in Barnes & Noble.
A really simple one I like to go back to is in Heir to the Empire. There's a scene where Leia goes, "I love you," and then Han goes, "Me too," and then internally they're like, they're thinking about how this is now an ongoing joke because Han did it originally in Empire, and then Leia did it in Jedi.
Exactly. Yeah,
it builds their character.
It is a reference without telling you it's a reference. That's also a big thing. Like in Kevin J. Anderson's novels, they literally say this is just like this scene.
Like last stream when we talked about the Diversity Alliance arc, when he directly referenced, didn't Jaina directly say, "Oh, this is just like when Han
just like the
in the asteroid field."
She literally yells "Yeehaw" the same way that Han does when he comes back to help Luke. So
it's like poetry and rhymes.
Then you're gonna be so disappointed reading New Jedi Order when none of the Zolo kids ever say "Yeehaw."
Oh yeah, I'll probably commit suicide.
I'm so sorry.
Because what would Star Wars be without my cheap, meaningless references?
That literally ruined Traitor. Like, why didn't Jacen say that during Traitor?
Exactly.
I'm sure when he lets Ganner do his thing, he's like
talking to Vigari. That he neglected to shout "Yeehaw" at the top of his lungs.
He was in an action scene, I'm sure, right? So why wouldn't he say that?
Exactly.
Bad continuity, obviously.
And why didn't Ganner shout "Yeehaw"? He should have.
Oh my god! Instead of his famous quote,
yes,
he's just screaming "Yeehaw" at the user.
Yeehaw! This is my last stand.
I can't wait to read what his quote is, just to imagine him yelling "Yeehaw" instead. It
makes the scene better.
Yeah, and going on. At some point I started calling Anya the junkie crybaby. So we have crybaby, that's Zach. We have Wookiee crybaby, that was Reba, and now we have the junkie crybaby, that's Anya. As soon as she's gone, Han, of course, he has a perfect explanation for everything that happened. So much so that even the kids in the work themselves say, "Why didn't you tell her, though?" And then he asks them back rhetorically, like, "Tell her what? That her father is a massive traitor and scumbag and whatnot?" And to that, my honest response is, yeah, kind of relevant. I mean, sure, she probably wouldn't listen to you. That's a fair thing to assume, but
at least you try.
At least you tried. Like, you offered the truth, and it's on her to accept it or not.
I'm thinking right now, what did he say originally why Galandro died? Did he just deny it and not give any details?
I think he's the dark side.
I think he's just at a loss for words. He's like,
because even if you don't want to tell her that her dad was an asshole, you could frame that story in a way where he doesn't come across as such. Because basically he died because he went into like the treasure chamber when they were treasure hunting.
Yeah,
and he accidentally activated a trap and it shot him to death.
Yeah.
You don't have to mention, that was because he drew a gun on me.
True, yeah, you don't even... You're just like, we were treasure hunting. He went in too far, he activated a trap, and that killed him. That's not even you being malicious and being like, he was a fucking asshole, which he was still. But you don't even need to reference that if you don't wish to, which you probably shouldn't to calm her down, but yeah. So, of course, after all of that, Han makes the decision to go to Bosnia, so to Anubis, to the planet of Anya.
It's Bosnia.
Yeah, it is Bosnia, basically. Although Bosnia is more functioning, so interpret that in whatever way you will.
Oh, Jacen, you can be happy. We agreed this is going to be a thing. When Dan is going through New Jedi Order, he's going to imagine every book as if it was written by Kevin.
Exactly. Yeah. Whenever really there's a scene, I just imagine, what if this scene was written by Kevin? Like, yeah, we'll talk about it.
The choice scenes, and I would honestly prefer Kevin in some of them.
Yeah, but
Graham, you haven't heard the first example we had is the scene in Vector Prime when the moon is coming down, and if it was written by Kevin, he would throw in a reference to the movie and make it clever. Han is seeing it happening, and he's saying, "That's no space station, that's a moon."
Yeah, as I said, I think that would be a very funny joke. It will, of course, be not fitting at all, but it would be kind of funny. Oh man,
that could actually happen.
I don't believe Kevin would be above making those kinds of jokes. I don't think he would. That's the thing.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you there.
Remember when Tycho was kidnapped and then everyone was happy?
Yeah.
They're just going off into the sunset.
Mm-hmm. They were kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, of course, Han goes to Anubis, and by chance, Anya shows up to come with them.
Oh, yippee.
She does, and I was like, I'm sure the New Republic will send the best security for the husband of the Chief of State to be accompanied into an active war zone, right?
Wait, is Tenelka also
there? Yes.
Tenelka is here, yeah. All the kids are here, so...
She's getting really jealous at the moment.
Yeah, the twins, Tenelka, Zach, and Anya are here with Han.
And Anakin.
Is Anakin here as well?
Anakin and Loey are both here.
Yeah.
Remember Anakin Solo?
And Zach, actually. Everyone's here.
Bye, Jacen.
Everyone except Raynor's here.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, true. You're actually. For some reason, I had no reason to.
Because Anakin doesn't do anything, which is great.
That is good.
Prevented him from getting ruined.
Yeah, and yeah, as we've heard before, Anya fights with lightsabers, although she's not in the least bit force sensitive. The thing she does is, of course, she's on drugs and she fights with, quote, reckless enthusiasm, which to me does not quite explain how she hasn't been gunned down in any of her fights so far.
No.
Like, when I snort a line of cocaine, I don't actually become a master of fencing. That isn't actually how that works. Like,
have you ever tried?
I could try. I think I would, like, if it were a fight, like of life and death, I think I would be dead.
Yeah, you would be.
What a strange thing, yeah. And then we have a scene where they meet a weapons smuggler who's in space, and Anya, she makes Han do the right thing by making him jettison his crate of arms into space, which I guess he's allowed to enforce New Republic laws outside of New Republic jurisdiction. I guess so. Like, it's this weird thing where we are not in New Republic territory, and they're like, wait, this is illegal. Like,
maybe it's technical New Republic territory. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, whatever. And yeah, of course, this guy, the weapons smuggler, he was also hired by Zethros, who we now learn is part of the Black Sun. Remember that thing that nobody cares about?
No way.
The Black Sun. Oh my god. We'll talk about the Black Sun in given time. Yeah. I was kind of amused by the thought of this entire story wouldn't happen if Luke was there to read Anya's mind.
That's about everything in the story.
Kind of, yeah. Oh well. But yeah, Han, he lands on the planet and he wants to go to speak to the pro-rebel farmers first. And that, of course, makes Anya angry. So Anya is from the mining people who are pro-Empire. And they want to go to the farmers instead. And then when he is like, yeah, I want to listen to everybody's like perspective, she's like, oh right, yeah, a spice smuggler is gonna solve this conflict now. Which I wonder, like, you challenged him to go there. Now he's trying to even do what he should have no responsibility of doing anyway. And now you're like, oh yeah, as if you're gonna solve this thing. Like, I mean, he's gonna try. You made him try, so there you go. Yeah, she even seems offended that he doesn't believe her side of the story. Which is like, why? Yeah, why would he believe you literally anything? But yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then they reach Anubis. As I said, that's also known as Bosnia. And they meet the farmers who repeatedly get killed by mines and also by predators. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of straightforward, I guess. Yeah, then afterwards there's just death and despair. A bunch of people die. I don't give a fuck, honestly.
F's in chat.
F's in chat for nameless farmers who nobody cares about. Yeah, and then Anya had this idea of, hey, let's take as many people as possible into the Falcon, like as many farmers as possible. Oh, there you go. We got one F. There you go. Thanks, Doogie. I'm sure the farmers will appreciate it. Yeah, Anya's like, hey, let's take as many farmers as possible into the Falcon. Let's fly to the mining village and let's make them talk to each other. What could possibly go wrong? They land in the village, and the villagers think that Anya just made a bunch of prisoners. Yeah.
This is when the plot kind of just went off the rails.
Does it?
Not like it was on any kind of rails in the first
Not
place.
that it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
But it went kind of like beyond the point of no return.
Yep. That's true. And then a bunch of kids, they are marching with the other farmers. They are going through more traps.
Right, because they're going through the forest, and they're like, "Follow us. We'll make sure you don't blow up."
And that doesn't work. And
some of them still blow up.
Yeah, and they walk right into the hands of the miners, who now take them as prisoners. Oh yeah, I wrote down another editing mistake. For some reason, the word arms was replaced with anus in my editing version. I don't ask me why. It just kind of seemed tonally appropriate to me that it was. So, but yeah, that of course isn't the fault of the literal book.
Oh shit! I think I missed a Jacen joke. I apologize.
No way. Okay.
Yeah,
now
this is this is still in the forest. It looks like.
Okay.
So one of the retreating Nars steps on a mine and blows up, and Jacen goes, "That's one way to clear a minefield." Get it? Because he blew up. It's a quip. Because
yeah.
And on that note, I am going to sleep because Kevin is giving me a headache.
I understand. Nice of you to stay around.
I will end off by saying that the crystal is far better than every young Jedi Knights book from about the first few paragraphs.
Yeah.
And I don't need to care about the rest.
Yes, that is true.
Because the first few paragraphs actually make it good.
Factually correct.
Yep.
Oh man. Good night, man.
Okay. On that note, bye.
Bye-bye.
So maybe Fab is right, and Kevin J. Anderson is Joss Whedon.
Maybe
it's a quip.
But yeah, I almost feel bad for Joss Whedon because he made something of quality at least once. You know, I can't say the same about Kevin, but yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, and then at some point. Oh yeah, while all the farmers. Wait, did I skip something? Oh yeah, wait, I actually skipped something here.
Oh no.
No, that was so important. Now you guys are not gonna understand a thing. Yeah, so while everyone is prisoner, Anya makes one of her stupid dumbass friends plant bombs in the farmer village while they're imprisoned. So if at some point, which I don't even see why that would happen, but if at some point they were to return to their village, they would move into the houses and then the bombs would go off. And her dumbass friend actually steps on a mine that she already planted because he wanted to mine the last house of, I think, even the village leader.
Yeah, the village leader.
Yeah, he didn't realize that she mined this house already, so he dies. And he just gets eaten into hell. I have to admit, that was kind of funny. Just seeing it, because it was such a stupid character, and he immediately dies. That was kind of entertaining. Exactly, yeah. And then afterwards, Alice or Elis, whatever, who is the leader of the mining village, he is angry and thinks that someone needs to pay. And it does take quite a while for him to understand that his little brother, who was the one dying, was just stupid and got himself killed. And then at some point, and look, this is quite revolutionary because you probably never heard of this kind of thing before, but weapons dealers, apparently in the Star Wars universe, are selling to both sides of the war. Shocking, right?
Weapons dealers that have nothing to do with the conflict, you mean?
Yeah. Isn't it crazy to think that a guy who's providing you Kalashnikovs literally doesn't give a fuck if you live or die? It's crazy. And then they find out, oh wait, this weapons smuggler that we stopped, that Han stopped before, he's selling to both sides, and he's not an idealist. Because why the hell would he be? Nobody knows who you are. And yeah, so then they make peace and vow to get the planet working again because they realized weapons dealers don't take sides usually. Because why would they?
Exactly like The Last Jedi.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
join. It's poetry.
It does rhyme, yeah. There you go. Then, oh yeah. Now we're talking about a funny thing that I think we've mentioned a few times already on stream, is that Jacen has very evidently moved on from Tenel Ka because he, and I quote from the book, for some reason he wanted to impress Anya. What could that possibly mean?
Hot dog.
Why would a teenage boy want to impress a woman with her tits out? Canonically, I wonder. Yeah, it really to me sells this meaningful romance that Jacen and Tenel Ka had in the series so far. It's truly a beautiful conclusion to, I mean, their very romantic arc. I mean, how many couples can say about each other that one has cut off the arm of the other? It was so unique, and it set up the romance perfectly. And
I'm pretty sure that's a South Park joke, actually. The Canadian princess.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah, it is. I remember that.
As is tradition.
There you go. Yeah. Because it's gonna be, of course, important as we start speaking about New Jedi Order. But yeah, Jacen is gonna have a different love interest in that series, Danny Kui, and I was sold on the idea that this character was impeding on the most beautiful romantic pairing since Romeo and Juliet, and actually turns out that in the story that introduced a possible romance between them in the first place, it's already thrown out the window because he falls in love with a junkie instead of a princess. Either that junkie looks very, very good, or man, Tenel Ka must be boring, because
it could be both.
It could be both. Yeah, we've seen her tits, I guess, and she's an adult, so that's okay, I guess. Yeah. What can I say? It is what it is. And yeah, so they start removing all the bombs that the miners have planted in. No, wait, that the farmers have planted in the mining tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's something they would do. Yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, and everyone starts getting the bombs away. And then, then even Kip, Streen, Reyna, and Lusa join to also get more bombs away.
Yeah, they bring the rock dragon from Ord Mantell because it was just parked there. I guess they could just do that without the key.
Mm-hmm. Jaina, she starts feeling uneasy when she sees Anya looking at Jacen and Zach. And looking back at it, this might have given her the inspiration to get banged by two dudes later in her life. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And after, so Anya gets offered a talk with Luke and also a spot in the Praxium, which she accepts, of course. Jaina once again feels uneasy. Jaina should feel uneasy because now she's got mad, competition. I mean, Anya has that heroin addict vibe going on for her that dudes usually go crazy about. So I understand. And then the end. Yeah, Anya, she wants to keep Zethros informed for more Andrus. So Andrus are the drugs that she's taking.
Andrus spice, yeah.
Yeah. Luke, of course, should know that this girl has evil intentions and that she wants to keep close contact to a gangster that wants to supply her with drugs.
Seeing as he was able to figure out Brachus as well. but
like immediately. I think as he landed, he knew that he was a fake. And Brackus actually has talent. Like, he wasn't faking that, but oh well. So it was like, yeah,
we're just using what Kevin himself established here. It's
exactly. It's not even like, oh yeah, different author, different vision that wasn't clearly committed. No. It's literally what he says himself. But yeah, so I was like, yeah, I can't wait how this is gonna go up in flames, because clearly this isn't supposed to work in like 5 different ways. And that's it. That was the end of the book. I said I think that was somewhere around a 2 to 3 out of 10, because the beginning had me fooled for a bit. Because the beginning really wasn't that shit, I have to say. There were good scenes.
There's their ideas.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I think so. Yeah, somewhere in between 2 to 3 out of 10. It's not particularly important which one precisely, but yeah, somewhere around that, I think would be fair. Yeah, and that brings us neatly to the next book in the series, which is Trouble on That Place from the movies. Yeah, we have once again these weird whatever for the...
Hey, why doesn't it say anything at the top?
Yeah.
You could have made some fun pun there.
Exactly, like the Solos return to Bespin once more, or something stupid. Yeah, so Trouble on Cloud City, that's the next one. I think this cover is fine, honestly. Yeah. It looks good. I mean,
got a Sith Wookiee, got everything.
We have a Sith Wookiee. That is true. We have these 2 retards. We have this character that I remember from that movie.
Still wearing the exact same clothes.
The exact same clothing, not with any additional wrinkles, even though he's like 50-ish at this point, I think, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But have you considered that blacks don't crack?
Yeah, I guess so. Good on him. I mean, who wouldn't want to not age at all? We have those animals. I forgot their name, but yeah, they are in the story. We have the titular Cloud City that we know. We have those ships that we know from the movie. New York Times bestselling authors of Return to Ord Mantell. Man, what a sign of quality there. Yeah, the cover looks fine. It looks good, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
There is literal trouble on Cloud City, so
maybe the best one.
Yeah, so accurate, I guess. There you go. Nothing more to say, really. So let's just start with that. Yeah, we start to figure out that Anya is clearly an unhinged character, which shocks everybody, I know, because any lesson that she's offered at the Praxeum, by the way, yeah, she is at the Praxeum now, she doesn't take seriously at all. Yeah. Luke only keeps her there as a favor to Han, which is a stupid idea, and like I don't even know why he would do that, but like, in how far can't you do any favor to this character without putting her there?
No.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. He of course can't see any potential in her. I'm like, didn't you even used to have both a force technique and also a machine to determine that? But yeah, we've kind of forgotten.
He should just test her blood for all the midichlorians.
I mean, that's at least something universal.
That hasn't happened yet, though.
That hasn't happened yet. Yeah, that's fair. Jacen is still kind of smitten with her because, yeah.
So is Zek.
Yeah, and
the girls are jealous.
Oh my god!
Of course, yeah. And I was like, out of all these characters, yeah, that was why I wondered if that might have been the motivation, because out of all these, Zek kind of seemed as the least unhinged in this scene. Like, we have the girls that are jealous because they're retards and are losing their fights against the drug addict. We have Jacen, who's just himself. We have Anya, who's a horrible person. And then we have Zach, who's just kind of around. So he comes off as the least weird for now. Oh well, not like that. It's gonna last a while. Yeah, and as we said, Jane and Tinka, they're jealous of Anya. After they were actually the ones who were quite self-righteous about needing to help her. You could have just left her behind. It would have been that easy. But you made your bed, now go lie in it. And Lando, he arrives now on, I think, Yavin 4, and he takes them all to Cloud City so they can test out the new restaurants and rides that he's about to place there and whether they're kid-friendly, I guess.
We have to point this out. If I'm not mistaken, Lando was inspired to turn Cloud City into an amusement park because he remembered when he owned Hologram Fun World.
Which was a less unhinged place.
Which was in Jedi Prince, and Lando was looking at it already in Galaxy of Fear.
Ah, there you go.
So this is the payoff to a very long ongoing story arc, really.
Yeah,
since the beginning of the expanded universe with Jedi Prince.
Lando doesn't manage to move on from that one stupid city. Like there's nothing else he can do. Poor guy. Yeah. Then for one chapter or one of the, I guess, incorrectly edited chapters, I just wrote down Lando flirts with teenagers because that's, I guess, the vibe I got from him. They always manage to make Lando look like a creep while there's no reason to do so. You can just not do that, but maybe that's also just me at this point, but whatever. And they go to Cloud City, but then they find out that Lando's partner, apparently he got Clintoned. So like F's in the chat for Lando's business partner. Kojan, I think.
I think it's Kohan. I don't know.
Yeah, Cojones. I don't know. Then the next chapter I just wrote down like Kohan didn't kill himself.
Neither did Epstein.
Neither did Epstein, of course. Once again, Doogie is the only one showing the proper respect here to these very important characters in the Star Wars universe.
They're expanded universe characters. They're so important.
It just, I mean, I'm gonna guess this was Kevin not having the balls to kill off Lobot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shouldn't have happened either. Like, imagine this was Lobot randomly dying. Kevin would do that if he could. I feel like. I don't know. Maybe that. But imagine, yeah, Lobot's dead now. Whoopsie. Yeah, but I think it was because they speculated what happened to him that Anya tells them like, "Wow, you guys are really sinister." I want to remind everybody that this is the character that takes drugs to fight like a rabid coyote. So make of that what you will.
And works with Black Sun.
And works with the Black Sun, which, that's
but teenagers making theories about a murder that just happened. That's sinister.
Yeah, like how could they come up with such a thing that is totally something that the Black Sun would do? Oh, well.
I would also like to point out, if this is in continuity with the Marvel comics, the guy could have been fine. Because as we know, in the gas giant of Bespin, there's like a tiny bit of land inhabited by Ugnaughts. by Scottish Ugnaughts.
Which wouldn't be the weirdest thing that the Star Wars universe has, I guess. So good for them. Yeah, and then the group goes to watch a sky rodeo. So on these weird animals that are on the cover.
Is it really called a sky rodeo?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
God,
it's literally a sky rodeo. Because
this gives Chuck Wendig a run for his money with space diapers.
Yeah, because I guess rodeo is a thing in the Star Wars universe. Whatever. And yeah, meanwhile, Anya is pontificating on the possibility that Kohan actually killed himself while he was trying to ride one of those.
It also says that apparently Anya has a piranha beetle tattoo for some reason.
She has?
Yeah. Oh. I don't know what Kevin's obsession with piranha beetles are, but
I don't know either. It's carnivorous beetles. Like it's not a revolution. calm down. Nobody cares that much. Yeah, well, but there you go. Proto Denning, as we told you, like this is Proto Troy. Obsession with bugs beyond any reason.
Oh god.
There you go. Yeah, and she's also like, oh, Lando, you can't just accept that. That's likely been either a suicide or an accident.
What else would it be?
Yeah, there's nothing else possible. I don't know.
There's that accident, murder. Those are the options.
Yeah. No, I think she specifically says suicide or accident. Sorry, I might have missed.
I'm glad we have these heavy themes in Star Wars children's books.
Yeah, by the way, this is
handled very delicately.
Yeah, by the way, this is young readers. Young readers would be what, like 12-ish?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even
this would be for 12-year-olds. The actual 12-year-olds.
Yeah, who are gonna buy a book with whatever.
I mean, I think you can make a book for 12-year-olds about dealing with suicide and drug addiction. This isn't the one to do, but you know.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, then Lando, that was kind of funny. Like Lando looks at Anya, and he immediately, like without a second thought, he concludes, "Yeah, you're a junkie." Like he immediately knows. And she, of course, is like, "Yeah, I'm not addicted. I can quit anytime. Do you think you're my father? Because I don't have one, actually. Han Solo killed him, remember?" Because Lando just points out, "Hey, you're clearly a drug addict. I can tell. I'm not a retard."
And then she copes.
That she copes and seethes, she molds, she dilates, she does the whole
You
thing.
just made me think by saying, I don't have a father. Anya, what's your name? Anya Skywalker. Oh god.
Yeah, and yeah, by the way, yeah, that was, of course, for those who didn't realize that from the last book, that Anya indeed does not have a father because supposedly Han Solo killed him. Yeah, and right afterwards, she calls Zethros about the investigations regarding Kohan's death in the hopes of getting more drugs, which, of course, proves her point of being able to stop at any point. Oh, yeah, apparently so there's more speculation that the band that was playing swamp music killed Kohan.
You know what I hear in my head when you say swamp music?
Shrek. Somebody
once told me the world is gonna roll. Yeah, exactly that one. Swamp music.
Get out of my swamp. I think because they go to some swamp planet to meet a Bith band. That's
isn't that? Oh, I remember that. Yeah,
isn't that literally the Bith band?
Yes,
from
Mos Eisley. They're playing All Star.
Hey, no. Yeah, it's literally the Bith band from A New Hope. Because
it's Figure and Dan and the model notes or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there is a comparison. I don't know the context of the comparison, but it was quote that he had to be flexible as an Umgillian blob, which tells you that at this point Kevin has run out of movie references to throw in, so he has to literally refer to himself. Well, there you go.
Are blobs flexible?
I don't think that flexible is the precise word for it, because it implies that you usually to me it kind of implies that usually you would be impaired to move at certain angles, but you kind of train to mitigate that. I guess slime is flexible. I don't know. Maybe. Who would have thought that we would debate on whether blobs are flexible? There you go, guys. That's the deep.
Let's get back to All Star. So, what's the point about the Biff band, Figure and Dan?
Patience. That's gonna come up.
Okay.
Now we're gonna talk about very important things, like that. Of course, the Black Sun has started to quote infiltrate many important industries and businesses in the New Republic.
Oh, who could have seen it coming?
Who could have seen that coming? It's a Kevin debut, guys. The evil guys infiltrate all the important things without anybody realizing. By the way, it's the New Republic that revived the fucking Black Sun.
Yeah.
They literally revived them, and the books in which that happened have been written for a long time and released. Long enough to make sense of this. So, sorry, not sorry. That's shit. Yeah. Because, of course, why wouldn't they? And then I was like, man, there are so many possibilities for storytelling. I was like, I can't wait to read the story of, I don't know, some secret sex trafficking ring that's ran by Ewoks that also infiltrated the New Republic. Because why not? Everybody and their mama has infiltrated the New Republic at this point.
Yeah, and there's going to be more infiltration coming in the future. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I just remember. Yeah, the Sith also infiltrate the Galactic Alliance in Fate of the Jedi. Yeah, you are fucked. You are fucked until the end of the timeline.
With their conspiracy theory podcast.
The Vong do too.
Yeah, of course. Is there literally anybody who doesn't? I think at every point somebody has infiltrated the New Republic. Like the Yevithans have, the Vong have, the one Sith have, the Black
Lost Tribe Sith,
the Diversity Alliance.
Yeah,
Shadow
I think it's just the Corellians.
Maybe the Corellians are too cool for that stupid gay shit.
Yeah,
Imperial Remnant, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
The Dark Empire. All the different Imperial factions.
The Crimson, like the Empire from Crimson Empire.
That is the Crimson Empire.
Just the Crimson. Yeah, they have.
Did the Empire Reborn from Crystal Star?
Oh, I don't know.
Did Hefri have spies?
I don't remember that he had. I don't think so. He might have not had them. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a phrase I wrote down, and I once again don't know the context of why I wrote it down, which makes it kind of funnier. The phrase goes as following, quote, coincidentally, a Celestin opera had the added benefit of being particularly effective at jamming all known listening devices. I don't know what that means, and I don't know why I wrote it down. Probably because it sounds stupid, but I don't know what the context of it was, and I kind of don't want to know because it sounds...
So Celestins be jamming?
I guess. Literally, yeah. By jamming, they are jamming.
This is a really musical book.
It is.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. And they, of course, have started to infiltrate all like gambling businesses everywhere. I think on Cloud City, because they started doing evil things, and that's how they did it. It made no sense because, of course, it didn't. Yeah, and then we get to Jaina and Zach accompanying Lando to Cluckdor 7 to search for the Bith Swamp Band that was mentioned being there.
It is, in fact, friggin' Dan and the modal loads, by the way.
Of course. I mean, at least it's good to know they finally got off Tatooine.
That is good. Yeah, they became the next big thing in music.
Yeah, they had a smash hit. All Star. Everybody was singing it.
Somebody once. Yeah. And yeah, Tenelka and Loey and Jacen are left behind to investigate on Bespin with Anya. Which, of course, is a great idea. What could possibly go wrong? Why would you alert any authorities? Why would you alert Luke or Han? Because who cares about them? And then, then Lando and Co.
Wait.
Oh,
Jacen joke. Can't skip.
No. Okay. What is it?
Oh wait, this is the one where they all joke about trees. Right. I forgot about this.
Yeah,
they're in the Climateria.
Oh no, I remember that one.
I don't. So
they're all in, I guess, the swamp area for the Climateria, and then Jacen goes, "I guess we should get back to our roots then." And then And then he says, "It's too bad. Just when I was starting to branch out." And then Lowy groans at that one. And then then he says, "I know this goes against the grain, but maybe we should all leave now."
This makes me glad this book has never been translated to German because
this wouldn't work.
Not at all.
But wait, there's more. Tel Ka joins in and she says, "I would advise climbing down immediately." And then Anya goes, "I think that's a Vine idea." And then MTD.
Even Anya. Why? She hates whatever.
And, then Lowy, this is a Lowy quote. Lowy growls, and then MTD translates it. It's certainly more advisable than risking life and limb. And then everyone laughs.
Then imagine this for a second in German, where it doesn't make any sense, or they just translate it like literally without the wordplay, and they're actually talking.
I don't.
And then they laugh for no reason.
I don't remember which joke it was, but one of the jokes they literally just translated word for word, even though.
Oh yeah, I think it was in the last one, book 6 of the Shadow Academy arc.
Yeah, I think so as well. There was a joke that only works in English. It clearly made no sense in German, and they just literally translated the joke. So of course there's no punchline because the words aren't similar like they were in English. So yeah, they would just literally translate the joke. Like, whatever, we don't know what they were trying to do here.
I think memes aside, that scene is actually like okay. It's like a human scene for once.
It's the best attempt, I guess, at a joke because it was actually
because everyone joins in. That's why.
Yeah, but exactly. No, yeah, I like to believe that the translators in book 6 didn't even register that this was supposed to be a joke that has a punchline, so they just literally translated the words as they would usually do.
Yeah.
I guess this is my headcanon now, so they probably would have done the same here, yeah.
I can't blame them. I mean, they stopped translating the series, so...
Yeah, there has to be a reason for that. Yeah, and then Lando and co, they find the Bith Band, and the Bith Band tries to defend itself by slinging mud at them. But then they're like, "Hey, it's us," and then they want to tell them all that they know. Good on them. And then while they're looking for evidence, Anya almost slips to her death. Then she gets saved. And then she wonders like whether the Black Sun, the Black Sun thug who's making her commit murder in exchange for hard drugs, would save her at any point in her life. Anya is a very relatable character, by the way. Everyone who's an addict has always wondered, like, are horrible people actually nice? I feel like the hardest drug addict wouldn't ever imagine that they're drug pushers who are also murderers are good people, right? I don't think they would, but I guess she does. So, whatever. Yeah, and then... Oh yeah, and then the group on Bespin, they are about to bust a drug deal, which is communicated to others wirelessly without code words, like, "Hey, let's go there and let's sell some drugs," basically. Which, lucky for them, otherwise they wouldn't have known that there's a drug deal about to happen. But then they get found and run away, and they get chased, and they get caught by the drug dealers, who, once again, for some reason, don't just shoot them in the face, but they send them down the garbage chute instead. I know that garbage chute because I watched Empire Strikes Back as a kid.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that scene actually made sense to me because I remember this scene.
You remember the scene when the same thing exactly happened in Empire Strikes Back?
Mm-hmm. I do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and apparently the Black Sun has everybody fooled about their true intentions because they pretend to be normal people, even though they were literally revived by the New Republic as a crime organization. But of course, the Black Sun bullies everybody, so they get away with it because reasons. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, when they fall down the garbage chute, Jacen doesn't manage to hold on to it, like the whatever thingies that are down there, so he falls to supposedly his death. And Tenelka has like survivor's guilt, which, to me at least, seemed to be an attempt to make Tenelka appear like a human. So that's something. Anya then realizes, oh, everything is my fault, and Jacen kind of didn't deserve to die, which is a factually correct assumption, I guess. But yeah, Jacen gets saved by a Thranta. I think Thrantas are
that's correct.
Flying animals. There you go.
It's a creature that was from Alderaan.
Yeah. What? Try. Remind me when Luke meets Streen for the first time. There are also flying animals on Bespin. Were they Thrantas? I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe. Who knows?
Why not?
I don't know. Yeah, I was just I remember that happened. So I was like, are those the same? But yeah, whatever. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think it was from Alderaan, which of course, yeah. Yeah, and the Thranta rider, he saw that Zethros pushed Kohan down the balcony. Wow, who could have guessed that would happen? What a twist! And he brings Jacen back to the Cloud to Cloud City. Oh yeah, something that I didn't mention for the whole time because it's irrelevant is that Zethros' nickname for Anya is Velzer, and that is some predator that is attracted to lightning because they feel like lightning gives them energy. And I guess this is supposed to be a deep thematic moment when that is explained. So, whatever. Draw your own
Neat.
from that.
Why?
That's even less correct, somehow. There is no battle on Ort Mantell. Like, wait, there is one in the hangar, I guess, but...
The central moment of the book.
Exactly. That's when the big things happened. Yeah, and then Jacen, he reunites with everyone. And
so what was the point of the Biff Band?
To see if they know anything about the death.
And they didn't?
I think they just told them that Did they tell them that the Black Sun started bullying people again?
I think so.
So I guess it's to realize that the Black Sun exists. Because otherwise they could only find out
my chapter 12 notes say, Friggin says it's all about Black Sun.
Yeah.
It's all about Black Sun, man.
And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
They literally can't stop coming.
And I hit the ground running. Yeah, and then Jacen reunites with everyone, and then they start to find out that somebody cut the security footage on Bespin to hide Zethros' presence on the planet. Because why the hell would you wear a helmet to do that instead? I guess. Yeah, and the fact that security footage was cut indicates that the Black Sun has important people under their thumb somehow.
On that note, can we talk about, at least from what I remember, how confusing it was with Zethros as the villain? Because he seems to be doing all this shit on his own.
Yeah.
Is he like a Vigo? He's not the head of the Black Sun. He's like an underling himself.
Yes.
That was so confusing to me because we had fucking, what's his name? The pretty boy, Brakis.
Uh-huh.
With the Shadow Academy, and he was obviously the leader. There was fake Palpatine above him, but whatever. We had Lenin, woman Lenin, leader of the Diversity Alliance. Very clear, the hierarchy of stuff. And now we just got Zethros.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the Black Sun in this is built up.
You never find out, and they continue. I don't know if they could. I think the implication later is that they're gone, kind of. But
that was so confusing because from what I remember, the Black Sun is apparently just there. Zephyros is just one lieutenant, basically.
Yeah.
Their plan is kind of confusing and random, and these 3 books don't really connect with that overarching plan that much.
Nope.
And then by the end, it's just like, are they defeated? Is Black Sun gone for good? Or like...
They are defeated. If they are gone for good, I guess is everybody's guess.
They are back in the Legacy comics, but not in New Jedi Order or the Denningverse, so I guess they were defeated for a while.
Thank Christ for that, at least. I don't know what the point of it would be. It's crazy how long ago it was that we spoke about this character. Like, Jesus. It's been a while, yeah. Called the enemy of Cloud City. Wow. Yeah.
The threat from inside.
Yeah, I guess because the point of that book was like, yeah, we're gonna incite a takeover, like all at the same time. But I mean, we'll talk about that. But yeah, maybe that was the point of the name. Yeah, and yeah, the plan is now. Oh yeah, Black Sun. They will emerge everywhere, whatever exactly that means. But they will do that. And for some reason, Zethros tells this to Anya, because I guess she would need to know. And yeah, Anya is now out of space heroin.
I think it's closer to space meth.
Crystal meth. The crystal meth under the crystal reef.
Yeah, I called it space crack in the title here. I kind of jumped around.
Could be crack cocaine.
Yeah, it's like cocaine almost seems too high society for somebody like Anya. Yeah, but like,
so maybe it is meth.
Maybe
because
it's
like artificial, kind of.
Yeah,
or like processed.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, Lando, he's back on Bespin now, and he gets called to supposedly take care of some labor dispute that's going on, because I guess that's his responsibility. And then at some point he recognized that he's been tricked, he's been backstabbed, and he has been quite possibly bamboozled. So of course there's no labor dispute, but they're actually like enemies or something. Yeah, I just said, yeah, the other group gets attacked and escapes. Whatever, who cares? They get chased by those stupid chameleons from the previous book, which are not equipped with firearms. So yeah, and of course Lando also has no firearms because whatever. But a bunch of idiots all around. And yeah, then Lando has a space roller coaster there, and that gets destroyed.
No.
Which I guess is supposed to be kind of meaningful, maybe. I don't know. Who cares? Yeah, then the next chapter just wrote Lowy yells, and then Thronta riders appear to save one of the groups, and yeah, and so Lando and some other kids, they're in this weird theme park that he has, and they dispose of some guards there. Jacen flies into a storm system. Tanelka disapproves, and to that, like to him flying in there, he replies, "They'd be crazy to follow us, wouldn't they?" Because remember that line from that movie you watched, where his father said,
I actually don't remember that line. I don't watch movies.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't, but because those movies are gonna get ripped to shreds in Kevin J. Anderson books. Yeah, and he lures his enemies into a horde of Valtzers, and they get killed there. So they fly after him, and then they die.
And then they die.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they watch, like, now that everything has gone all right, I guess, they watch a Thronta Rider show, and they decide to return to Yavin 4. Because, yeah. And then Anya, at the end, she's surprised once again that the guy who supplied her with space meth doesn't actually care about her. And now she's actually like run out of it. And that's the end of the book.
Well, that's when she also questions maybe Han didn't kill Galandro for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what brought that on, but
these two things are connected, I guess. Who knows? Yeah, and that's the end of this book. I gave this a 0.1 out of 10. This is a pretty easy shit book that has no meaning. It has no worth. Nothing interesting gets said. There's jokes you can make out of other things, like the fact that there's Biffs who play swamp music and they're hiding in a swamp. That's it. I don't know. I have nothing for this book. It's shit. Yeah. There you go. I don't know what you have, Pico, out of 10 again. Yeah, I guess so.
I like that we are all just exhausted as fuck.
Yeah, I can talk like for 5 hours about Junior Jedi Knights like we did. Fine enough.
Dude, you gotta make that comparison. 14 books of Young Jedi Knights versus 19 New Jedi Order books.
Ooh, yeah, that's gonna be.
New Jedi Order is gonna be so much more fun throughout.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why that is. Maybe because a certain author didn't come back. Yeah,
they had to go ruin Dune.
Yeah. Sucks to be a Dune fan, I guess. But if you don't care about Dune, good for you. Yeah, and that's the second book, or like the second to last book, I guess, overall.
It is the second book of the final trilogy.
The final trilogy of the
series. As they call it.
Yeah, true. They advertised it as a trilogy, so.
And that's when these 3 books out of the 3 story arcs have like the least connective tissue.
Yeah, which kind of...
In terms of overarching story. I mean, Anya is there, but that's about it.
Yeah, Anya's there and the Black Sun is vaguely there. But yeah.
And they have a vague plan.
Yeah,
and the vague hierarchy and stuff.
Yeah, but that's it really.
Oh yeah, Faber is actually right for once.
What do you expect, honestly? We're talking about Young Jedi Knights. How the fuck would I even...
We're on the final stretch now.
Go back and rewatch the Junior Jedi Knights. He was happy once.
Man, I was having energy. I was there. I was like, yes. And now I'm so close to NJO. And then I realized, wait, it's 14 Young Jedi Knights books. They have about 180 pages. Oh, okay. Yeah, but Junior Jedi Knights, man, that was rejuvenating.
Swamp music is... you remember the Cantina band, Figure and Dan and his crew? They joined Smash Mouth, and they are performing All Star in the swamp.
But wasn't that also jizz music?
It is jizz music.
Yeah, I mean, I always jizz when I hear All Star.
Yeah, I guess I always jizz in the swamps, so that's why jizz music and swamp music is the same thing. I don't know. Yeah, swamp music is...
And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
They literally cannot stop coming.
Yeah. Add to the rules and I hit the ground running. Yeah, and that's it. So let's get this over with. We have the last Young Jedi Knights book to talk about.
Thank God it's over.
The twins must choose between friendship and the Force. Wait, what?
Does the Force force you to make such a decision? That's kind of fucked up.
But they never do that.
And yeah, even if the Force did that, do they have to make a choice? I don't remember such a choice even being... Wait, what?
Wouldn't that imply...
The twins don't do anything in this book.
They don't ever choose between a friendship and the Force. What would that even mean? Like, if you want to be friends with me, you have to give up the Force.
Follow the Jedi Order or help a friend. I guess that's what that's supposed to mean.
Is that ever in conflict, those two things?
I don't remember that.
I don't think so, Pico, right?
No.
But it sounds intriguing and deep when you read this, right? As the tagline.
I guess it's supposed to be, yeah. There you go. We have something. Star Wars, Young Jedi Knights, yeah. Crisis at Crystal Reef. Yeah, first of all, yeah, we are in a Crystal Reef and there is a crisis there. So, yeah. We have Jaina.
We got some hentai action.
We have some hentai-action. Yeah, we have some sea monster on Mount Calamari that I forgot the name of. I'm sure I wrote it down.
The Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah.
We got Adam Driver as Kylo Ren.
Now, yeah.
Maybe we were too harsh on Adam Driver's horrifically ugly face, because it does seem pretty accurate.
Adam Driver, in contrast to Kevin J. Anderson, cares. He tries. So, yeah. We have Luke, for some reason. He also doesn't look like he's aged a day since Return of the Jedi. Good on him. I guess white don't crack either in the Star Wars universe.
And you have seen the very next book, Vector Prime. He has a very different hairstyle and stuff. So, he
Yeah.
Is Luke even in this book?
I don't know. Maybe.
Isn't Luke at the end when he says, "You are truly the young Jedi Knights"?
Oh, other than that, though.
They call themselves Young Jedi Knights, I think, throughout the series.
Yes, but now Luke made it official. You officially can see yourself now as the young Jedi Knights.
I think so, yeah. Like, he literally announced the champions of the Force to be the champions of the Force. And they are now the young Jedi Knights.
You are now the new champions of the Force.
I mean, that would be understandable. The last ones were kind of shit.
I like that now instead of those ugly beige jumpsuits, they are wearing black.
It looks like they're...
Wait, that means evil, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No. This is clearly going for Return of the Jedi Luke outfit. Because, themes and stuff. Very, very deep in Crystal Reef.
I guess I thought it almost looked like some Imperial thing. I guess this is supposed to be like the New Republic or the Rebels sign, maybe. I don't know what that is. Whatever. Yeah, that's the weird submarine.
Is that Nyan Yam?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, true. He's in this. Yeah.
He's a main character in this book.
I totally forgot about that, to be honest with you. So that's gonna be fun to see where he was actually in, because I have no clue.
Fabe, please read that comment. That's sad. Buy him Junior Jedi Knights.
Yeah.
Or any Jude Watson books, the entire Jude Watson books. All of them.
Somebody who honestly says, like, how are you bored from Dark Force Rising and you like the Shadow Academy? I have nothing to say. I mean,
Slav and Titus were bored from that one too. I don't know. I feel like people just don't pay attention in that book.
Dark Force Rising is the best Zahn book.
It's the second best.
What is the best?
Vision of the Future.
Vision of the Future has great moments, but it's a bit messy for me.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. It's okay. Yeah, we have those guys here. We are, in the sea of Mon Calamari. I guess it looks like it's supposed to. New York Times bestselling authors of Trouble on Cloud City. Great, fantastic. Yeah, nothing to say. The cover looks fine. I guess I don't understand why Luke is here, but like why Anya wouldn't be here. Then again, who the fuck is Anya actually? So whatever.
This is the final book. You want to see Luke on the cover?
I guess so.
For young Jedi Knights, of course.
Yep. I mean,
I like that also. Unlike the first story arc, we are now reduced to just Jaina and Jacen's faces, because the rest of the friends don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
They had their arcs already.
Exactly. Now they're like, I don't know. They're there. They're present. They're extras, I guess. His junky waifu is gonna leave him in this book, so I guess he's a bit miffed about having to go back to Stumpy. Yeah. Let's just start with this shit. Yeah, Zach thinks how he might want to kiss Jaina at some point, and Anya is having a cold turkey come down from drugs, and she isn't handling that too well.
What is it? I may be brain leaking.
Yeah.
Wasn't that called something in this book instead of cold turkey?
It might have. I don't know. Yeah, cold turkey is from me, I think.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called in this. There might be some word that they had here.
A cold bantha?
Cold bantha. Oh yeah, I guess you would have to find some bird creature from Star Wars, like a cold Thranta or something. I don't know.
Cold Vergier?
Cold Vergier.
Birds aren't real.
Oh man, yeah. Anya, she's made mad because her space meth is now gone for real. No. Zack, yeah, he starts reflecting on his past and builds a lightsaber. Cool.
Hype.
It's yellow-orange.
That goddamn Salvatore.
That fucking bastard.
Yeah. Didn't he get like death threats because he killed that character? He should have gotten death threats actually from destroying Jacen's character.
From ruining the relationship between Jacen and Tanaka that was so deep and well established.
Like my relationship in like 3rd grade for one school break was more meaningful than their romance. Jesus Christ. Like yeah, Anya, yeah, she's doing cold turkey. She still can't handle it because she goes to the lightning rod, which is open and ready to be flown, I guess, and she just steals it.
Well, as established in the first book of this trilogy, you can just take ships.
Yeah, I was gonna say Zack just forgot the keys.
Yeah, the Rock Dragon was freely available on Ord Mantell. This was perfectly fine to just take here, and back in Dark Apprentice, Kip just stole Mara's ship.
True. Yep, because sometimes you can do that. Other than in that one book from the Diversity Alliance where the bounty hunter was about to try and break open the Rock Dragon, because I guess at that point it wasn't available. I don't know what any of this means, by the way. I just always thought it's like a car. Like, if you don't use the key or something akin to a key,
like you punch in a code or something and then it starts. Something.
Yeah, something like a code, a remote control, a literal key, like a better.
Remember the Corellian trilogy when Mara escaped by like using the remote control of her ship?
Which I do.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Cool. That was kind of cool. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, of course, as we know, security on Yavin 4 is minimal because Luke is lobotomized as a character, and she flies to Kessel, which is that wonderful planet that Kevin can't keep.
Remember Morph Duel?
I do remember that character. I really thought he was shit. But I guess he was one of the less weird characters from Kevin J. Anderson at this point.
Man just wanted sex slaves and spice.
Cocaine and money. Like,
Cocaine and sex slaves.
Yeah, like he's the most relatable Kevin J. Anderson character probably of all time. So, wait. Okay, yeah. There's a Jacen joke now actually, and I think I have fully written it. I've written it out fully. Hey, Jacen said as he sauntered in, grinning. 2 Gamorrean guards are walking down a narrow, deserted canyon when suddenly a rancor comes out and starts chasing them. One of the Gamorreans stops to put on his best running shoes. Don't waste time, shouts the other one. You can't outrun a rancor with those. I don't have to outrun a rancor, says the first one as he finishes lacing his shoes. I just have to outrun you. That was the joke.
That was the joke?
That was the joke.
That felt like the setup for a joke, where the Gamorreans like got eaten because he wasted time like with his shoes. That would be like a joke.
It's just
this isn't even a classic. I only have to outrun you joke.
Yeah, it's like, oh, remember when a rancor ate a Gamorrean in that movie you watched?
Oh, by the way, speaking of this, because it's perfect, you know that Kevin wrote a children's book based on that, where we follow that Gamorrean through the day, and then at the end he gets eaten. But then Kevin he hid a secret Easter egg where it turns out the Gamorrean that was eaten didn't die, and he was like rescued later, and he was alive.
What from?
That's the thing.
From the stomach of a dead rancor, or what?
Yeah, like he crawled out of the mouth or something. It's like a secret ending in the children's book that Kevin wrote. But that's the thing. Matt Wilkins reviewed it. He loved it, obviously. Fantastic story.
Do you know what it's called?
I don't remember what it's called. I just remember the story is that we follow this specific Gamorrean character, and then he's the one that gets
children's book about a Gamorrean getting eaten alive by a giant, big, scary monster.
But it's okay. He survives. I don't know what. I don't even think that's on Kevin's Wikipedia page. I think it's like a really, really young reader's kids book.
A boy and his monster, the Rancor's Keeper's Tale.
No, not that one. That's a short story. I mean, like a children's book with like a picture book, essentially.
Yeah.
Would that even be mentioned on Wikipedia?
It should be, because that's something he wrote, but apparently not. Can you look for stupid, like, children baby books?
Mm-hmm. I think only on the timeline page. I'll check.
Okay. Because if you find it, you guys have to read it.
No, I will.
You have to read the remaining Kevin J. Anderson stories to get all of that out. You have to read Bane of the Sith, dude. It's his last Star Wars short story. It was the first Bane story.
And
it was the basis for the novel Rule of Two by Drew Karpyshyn.
Did Drew Karpyshyn just not ignore everything that was in that short story?
No, he tried to work it in, which is why it's fucking garbage.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know, yeah.
Douglas, thank you. No, I meant the comment above.
Yeah, I know. I highlighted that already. I agree.
Okay, I missed it.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't even a joke. It's like, yeah, I guess he has to outrun the other guy who's about to get eaten instead. Sure. Yeah, and since... Yeah, so the kids, they don't want Anya arrested, so they don't call the cops on her, or like security on her. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Zach is disappointed that people aren't being sent to Kessel anymore, I guess. Yeah, and Luke...
I am too, actually.
Yeah, some characters deserve it. Zach would be one of them. Yeah, so Luke suggests that they go after her alone. Of course, without Luke, because why wouldn't he let them go alone? Yeah, so yeah, they remember that she mentioned Kessel at some point, so they just guess that that's where she went, which is kind of lucky. But okay. Chapter 6. Yeah, exactly. Nyan, he's actually running the space mines on Kessel. And he gets targeted in an assassination attempt, but the hitman accidentally freezes himself in carbonite and shatters instead. So that's not so good for him. Yeah, and after meeting the arms dealer from book 12 on Kessel, and also learning that Zethros is involved in weapons smuggling in Bosnia, Anya is now shocked to realize that he actually isn't that nice of a person. He might have used her, which is a crazy thing to believe. And he also, and we're getting kind of crazy now, but bear with me, he might have gotten her addicted to spice to keep her under his thumb. I know, how could she even? How she could think about that after everything that happened, I don't know. It might be a thing.
Okay, I think I also found the Kevin J. Anderson Rancor book. I just sent it in the Discord. It's the Matt Wilkins video about it.
What's it called? Jabba's Palace pop-up book. I guess it might.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
So it's like literally for toddlers, right?
Yep. Kevin wrote it, and then he wrote in the ending that, oh no, the Gamorrean main character actually survived. Even though I think in the movie we can see him like the Rancor bites into him and rips it in half, but no, he was actually swallowed whole. And he survived. Because he wore special armor or something.
Fabe, if I would have written down why, I could tell you. Now, I don't know. I just wrote down randomly that Zach is mad that people aren't getting sent to Kessel. It might even not be true, but it doesn't sound unbelievable to me, so I just choose to believe it. I bet you he hasn't even read that book.
Apparently, the cover for this book is Ralph McQuarrie.
Oh,
good for him.
Can you find a copy for you and Dan to read?
I don't care enough, to be honest.
No,
but it's Kevin.
I think I would have to rob a kindergarten or something to find a copy of this book.
I can get one on Amazon for $50. I don't want to.
$50? You should, because of its historical value to the fandom.
What?
No.
$50 for probably like 3 pages of a pop-up book, and I'm sure the pop-ups are broken at this point.
But it's written by Kevin J. Anderson. For completionist's sake.
Shut up. Yeah. So yeah, what Anya is doing now on Kessel is that she steals Andrus from Zethros. Oh no, not from Zethros, but from the arms dealer that Zethros is employing. So the one from Book 12, and she sends him to Coruscant, while she goes to where he was actually supposed to go, to Mon Calamari instead. He's very stupid, of course, so he just does what she's telling him because she pretends like, oh yeah, this is like a super secret thing and you need to listen. And she wants to go there to make Zethros pay, either by taking all the drugs that Zethros is storing on Mon Calamari in the Crystal Reef, or just destroying them. Probably the former. I was like, yeah, you're gonna consume those drugs, I think.
I would use the word shit.
Yeah, juvenile. It sounds like it would be appropriate for kids when it isn't. Like, it's just nonsensical. I sometimes say juvenile because sometimes adults act as though they're kids, but yeah, usually it just means they're written in a shit way. Yeah. I don't know why they are doing the things they're doing. It's because Kevin J. Anderson wrote the book. That's literally the only reason you get. Yeah. Next is yeah, and I was like, I just want to make sure so everyone gets it. Luke Skywalker suggested that 5 teens and a translator droid go to Kessel alone. Just so we get that clear. Yeah, so there is a very serious discussion about the possibility that Anya might have slipped past the security screens on Kessel. Yeah, she just walked up to the place. She pretended that she's an unlicensed trader. She damaged the ship, and then she stole her space meth and left again. Which I guess is what you can do. And I'm like, imagine that a buddy of somebody from the US government just ran a cocaine shop, and somebody just walked up to it, stole cocaine, and left again. And that was just something that happened hours after somebody tried to freeze him to death. I guess there's no security measures on Kessel because, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like characters are just able to walk in and out of places without ever getting stopped. I'm like, why aren't there people, like, why aren't they made to, I don't know, provide IDs, let their faces be scanned, the ship looked through? Like, doesn't that happen ever? No. Yeah, and then oh yeah, Lil Mitt. So Lil Mitt, by the way, that's the gun runner. He got permission from some Black Sun idiot on Kessel to do his things, and yeah. So Nyan Nun, he has a colleague, and the colleague is actually not a real guy, but he's somebody working from the Black Sun.
What?
And he's like,
more
oh yeah,
spies?
Yeah, go there. And I'm like, wouldn't it be kind of awkward if Nyan Nun, who's literally the administrator of this place, would just have assumed control of everything happening, especially after he was almost assassinated? That could have been really, really weird, but
I like that this book is just things happening.
Yeah, like I can't even comment too much about them. It's like, yeah, this thing happens, it makes no sense. This thing, the next thing happens. I'm afraid I'm at my wit's end at this point. So yeah. Yeah. So the other kids, they found Lilmit as well, and they basically bluffed their way into him admitting where Anya went. So now Jacen, Zach, and Tenel Ka follow her to Mon Calamari, while Jaina and Lois stay behind because I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, the other group, they land on Mon Calamari. They meet Silgal and they go to the Crystal Reef. Chapter 11. Yeah, so Nine is suspicious about the guy who tried to murder him. Crazy. And about shipments not being sent to the places that they're supposed to be sent to. And about not even remembering that these shipments are going to happen in the first place. But he still kind of walks around just carelessly on Kessel, and yeah, at some point the Black Sun is there and they overrun him. And he lost everything, like he lost all control there. He's now like a prisoner, I think. Yes. The thing is, I don't remember words exactly, but Kevin J. Anderson has had that kind of reasoning, basically. Like, who would be so stupid to attack here? So why would you protect this place? But yeah, that doesn't work that way, actually. Yeah, so then we listen to Zethros, who's jerking himself off verbally about how great he is and how they'll control everything and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and while the kids, they're wondering how Anya got into Crystal Reef, which is a high-profile place on the Ocean Man planet. And the response to wondering that is, well, you know her determination and all, which is supposed to be accepted as an excuse, I guess, that there really is no way that she could get into Crystal Reef. Yeah, either the corrupt guards are there who would stop her because Zethros yeeted her ass at this point, or there's a legit Ocean Man guard who's gonna stop her because she's a crazy junkie. But yeah, I guess she is now in Crystal Reef, and the kids want to go to Crystal Reef, and Silgal accompanies them, but she needs to call in favors because for some reason Crystal Reef both has to provide Silgal with all the records that she wants to look into, but she also can't just rely on her status to go in there. Like, not even to book a room there or something. She needs like special permission in some way to even go there in the first place. How one fits the other is beyond me. Like, if you can get any documents you want, you can also just kind of walk into the place. That's usually how it works, but like, whatever, who cares? Yeah, they find Anya. Then she confesses that she is addicted to drugs, which I guess was not clear to the kids at this point, and that she's under the control of the Black Sun, and she wants to destroy the Andrus storage that Black Sun has under some ice caps in the Crystal Reef. How precisely they got these drugs there, I don't know. And the book doesn't care either, so here we are.
They froze it over. That's what happened. I'm sure.
I'm sure of that. Yeah, you're probably right, because that would make sense, right? Yeah, then Jaina, Loie, and MTD, they also listen to Zethros verbally jerking himself off. So they are, left behind on Kessel. And then what they do in retaliation is to flood the room that he's in with, I think, literal shit. Like, they flood his room with something. I think it's actual shit. Or like sewage, whatever. But yeah. Yeah, and the group on Mon Calamari, they get a submarine, they destroy some of the Andrus crates, and then there's some monster that comes up and it destroys some of its own. Then it swallows a bunch of Andrus and attacks again because now the monster is on drugs. Sure. Yeah, we have a brief scene. I don't know why that happened, but yeah, Luke is briefly reminiscing about Obi-Wan, Owen, and Beru, which was kind of nice because I guess it had nothing to do with the actual book or the art or whatever. Yeah, the group, they are fighting this stupid sea monster that's on space trucks, and then they trick it and it leaves. Yay!
Yay!
If you can't tell, I'm very much into this book and into talking about it. I'm not sounding like a fucking lullaby here.
I left for a minute. Are we still not done?
Almost. We're almost there.
It's almost there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so MTD, he has a map of Kessel, and with that map they can tell where the antenna is that Zethros is about to use to send his takeover signal into the entire galaxy. That they know about that because they listened in on him speak about this takeover signal to all of Black Sun. So they sent. Oh yeah, MTD. Yeah, he can fly. They
fly now.
They fly now. Yeah. They sent MTD in there. He has a bunch of bombs that he's dropping, and they let it be blown up, like the antenna thing, which I guess was relatively smart. Yeah, Anya. Oh yeah, she has more drug withdrawals. She realizes that the good guys are her friends and the bad guys aren't. And yeah, she gets all the toxins that are still remaining in her body from the Andress extracted from her by Silgal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and on Castle, while most of the guards were still searching for them, the kids, so Jacen, Jaina and Loey, they go and free Nyan Nun, who is now barely guarded. And yeah, for some reason, Zethros now thinks that Kessel is secure. So his mercenaries already started to leave the planet again and to go to other places. While the workers under Nyan Nun are now taking back control over Kessel. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the group on Mon Calamari, they're in their submarine, and the submarine is trapped in between some ice caps. They then leave the submarine with the emergency swimsuits they have in there. So I guess that might have been those black outfits that they had on the cover, maybe the emergency suits. I don't know. Yeah, which I mean, good that those exist at least. So there you go. And yeah, there is this brief moment where Anya almost takes one of the last vials of Andress that she has with her. But then she equates her lightsaber to the drug. Because the lightsaber, as are the drugs, is something that isn't really hers, and she's relying on it.
Symbol of her addiction. It's so deep.
It's like it's like the symbol of her addiction, I guess. Then she destroys the Andress, and she drops her lightsaber as well.
In the water. They're still in the water.
Yeah, they're still in the water. And I was like, in a better book, this might have been some meaningful scene. Now it's like, yeah, it's kind of a nice scene, I guess, if you have no context of anything. It's like the lightsaber, a like being a symbol of her addiction, is really a stretch. You could have just given it to Luke, because I mean, it is a legitimate lightsaber that like he can do.
Those are expensive.
Yeah, there's some pretty valuable stuff in there, but oh well. Oh yeah, we also learned that Zethros apparently wanted to try to also take over what remained of the Empire. Sure, because I guess the Empire lets aliens run their things. I guess it's the less discriminating Empire now, which immediately comes back to bite them in the ass. So, take from that whatever you will. And yeah, Zethros, he tries to escape. He is saying, like, quote, "We got thousands of traitors in the New Republic left."
Yay.
Since this is a Kevin book, this of course literally means that it's true. And he almost manages to escape, but then he slips on the blood of a beetle that he killed, and he gets frozen in carbonite, which is a literal thing that happens. Don't ask me. I guess this is supposed to be poetic or something. Yeah, and then everything is good again now. They all reunite. All is well, and there will be a party at Yavin 4. Yeah, Jacen has kind of a nice little reunion with Han, where he's apologizing to him for doubting him about Anya and Galandro, which is the correct thing to do. And Han being glad about it, but yet still understanding why he would even believe that in the first place. Of course, it's because Anya has nice tits. That's really the only reason.
Yep.
Why he ever believed any of those things.
Anakin about her,
Yeah. Anakin, he has kind of a pretty neat idea, which is to send all the code, like the codes that Zethros was about to send to his Black Sun stooges, but instead do it one planet at a time, then have them attempt their stupid takeover, be, of course, foiled every time, and to do this until every takeover was, until every takeover fails, which is kind of a smart idea, actually, to resolve that, which is, of course, why Anakin has the idea.
Yeah. The only reasonable character.
Exactly. Yeah, well, the Black Sun was about to take control over, I guess, meaningful parts of New Republic industry to make them cooperate with them. So to be like, yeah, now they can't live without us. And he was going to try and do the same with the Imperial Remnant to make them so dependent on them that they have to let them exist. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and even Han and Anya, they have a little heart-to-heart at the end. And Han suggests some place where she can try and become a pilot, and she considers it, which was kind of nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have a scene where Anakin, Tahiri, and Ikrit are hanging out, which is just nice because it reminds me of better books, but it's a payoff that Kevin J. Anderson hasn't deserved at all. Like he hasn't worked for this. Yeah, Lando appears, and Han is like, yeah, when I thought about getting you a job with somebody, I thought of Lando. And Anya agrees, and she even thinks of Lilmit, so the gun runner, and it's like, yeah, he's a talented pilot. Why don't you go talk to him as well? Which I guess is kind of nice. Oh yeah, Tenel Ka gets gifted a necklace by Jacen, which was kind of sweet, I suppose. And then, yeah, there's a little ceremony for the new Jedi Knights. I think it's in the same place that the big three had their medal scene from A New Hope, which was, I guess,
they're all getting medals now for some reason.
Yeah. Fuck me, we're fucking done. Jesus Christ, that was the last book of Young Jedi Knights.
What's the score?
This one I gave a bit more than the last book, I think.
Nice.
So I think the last one I said 2 to 3 out of 10 somewhere. No, wait.
That was the first one.
The first one of this arc was a 2 to 3 out of 10. The second one was 0.1. And this one I gave a 3. Or it's like maybe even more. I think this one could be
I think I gave this one a 4.
Yeah, maybe this one is like a 3 or 3.5, and then the first one would be a 2.5 or 3. So like 0.5 below, because I think this book had more moments
I'll do
going.
3.5 plus 2.5.
Oh yeah, the overall score, right?
You got a 2.0333 out of 10 for this
really
arc.
On this entire arc, even with the 0.1 out of 10 in the middle.
Yeah.
Crazy. There you go.
So that plus 0.9, what was it, 9.6 and 9.8?
Yeah, I think so.
9.6 plus 0.98 equals that divided by. Actually,
I think it doesn't work. I think we would have to, but I don't remember the individual scores now. I guess we would have to.
This would be arc wise. That's the thing, which is what you're saying. Okay, arcs wise, if we're just including that. Oh wait, I messed up the math. I want to go back to this. No, come back.
It's
there we go. Okay, that's
0.98
divided by 3. Okay. If we're just taking arcs into account, it's 1.32. But I'm pretty sure that number drops drastically when you take every book individually.
And yeah, it would definitely, it would have to be below 1 out of 10, right? I think so. With the amount of 0.1 out of 10 that I gave, it could be. So yeah, this is Young Jedi Knights. We're finally fucking done. Man, what a waste of time. Seriously, I don't feel like at no point have I truly felt entertained with this series. There were individual scenes where I'm like, this is nice. That's a cool idea. That's kind of neat. But like, there was never an entire just scene playing out for a couple of chapters, which was really great. It was just shit. I'm sorry.
But it's so necessary for New Jedi Order.
I don't think this is necessary for anything literally ever. Like, look, in theory, you would claim that Jacen and Jaina are supposed to be the main characters of the series. Because, well, Anakin has his own, so it kind of would have to be. Jacen and Jaina go through no change. They are literally the exact same people that they were before already. There's no lessons learned, no consequences drawn from anything, really. They are just exactly the same as before. And there's nothing here that you could even, in theory, contradict if you wanted to. But we've gone through that before, so no reason to repeat that now anymore. Yeah, the conclusion of Young Jedi Knights is read Junior Jedi Knights, as Pico has very eloquently put. He even used MS Paint to drive the point home. Read this book. It's actually great, and it's supposedly for an even younger audience. I don't know how you manage that unless you're Kevin J. Anderson, I guess. So that would be the explanation. Jesus Christ Almighty. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything more to say. This has been a proper waste of time. Don't ever read Young Jedi Knights if you value your time and your your nerves, I guess.
And your money.
What? Sorry?
And your money. Don't waste money on it.
Oh, especially not money. Like, I have the individual books and the omnibuses for this. I feel so shit about it.
I just sent you all the PDFs, man. That would have been enough. That's how I read this.
You sent them to me after I've already bought them.
That's on you. I tried.
No, you told me this book series was like moderately okay. That was
for Kevin's compared to the Denningverse,
the Jedi
Academy trilogy, and
you told me this when I got to know you on the Reddit, on the fucking subreddit. I didn't know what Kevin J. Anderson standards were. I didn't imagine that they could be this horrible. How could I have known? I am relying on people who know already, and I guess now maybe we are those kinds of people for others. Don't ever read this book, please. Please do not. So,
we got a good story now.
We have a very short story, but a good story. On Wikipedia, I found this thing here, which I don't know where it's from. I guess
it's from the magazine. It's from the magazine that it's in.
Okay.
It's the first page.
Yeah, we have Jaina here.
Looking very
Mara Jade, like kind of, maybe, I don't know. Like,
not really Mara Jade. She looks like a middle-aged Mexican woman. I don't know why I think that, but there's something with the colors there.
It might be like the low res kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't. I don't know. It's okay, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, and there's a Cyborg Man.
We have Cyborg Man, evil
most
guy.
Most memorable character of all time.
Yeah. We have X-Wings. We have, I assume, Yavin 4. Maybe, I don't know.
It might actually just be Yavin itself.
Like that could be.
It's red.
And written by everyone's favorite author, Elaine Cunningham, gone too soon as an author.
illustrated by Michael Noguchi, I guess, or Mikhail Noguchi. There you go. It's called The Crystal. Simple title, and it actually makes sense in the story, so that's kind of neat. Yeah. What more can I say? It's a short story. It's perfectly fine. Exactly. We kind of made Marcel start to read it, and he quit. So maybe that's it.
I think
never forget that young Jedi Knights killed Doogie's daughter's love for Star Wars entirely.
It's true.
Which I understand.
That's just sad.
I'm kind of surprised that she managed to endure
I remember
it.
on the subreddit back in the day when Doogie was like reading these Jude Watson books and stuff to his daughter, he would occasionally post about it. And it was like this fun thing. And then they reached Young Jedi Knights.
Imagine having fun while reading Star Wars books.
Mm-hmm.
You tend to forget that very quickly when you reach shit like this. But yeah, let's just get to the crystal. I don't think I have too many crazy notes on it, so you feel free to add information, guys. We jump in, as far as I can tell, right into it from after the last book.
Right at the ceremony, yeah.
Yeah. Right there. So
where they say, now you are young Jedi Knights.
Now you're young Jedi Knights, finally. We get that Jacen and Anakin will become Luke's direct students, which of course is going to be important then for NJO, which also seems entirely appropriate. Like, of course they would. There's nobody else who would assume that position. And Han, for the ceremony, Han bought Jaina a Z95 headhunter, I think. And Leia even briefly asks him like whether he actually bought it. And she's like kind of serious about it and also kind of not, like, wait, but you did actually buy it, right? You didn't steal it from anybody. So that was kind of funny. A character that you might have thought was fucking dead after all of this, Mara Jade, she appears. She's there.
Remember when Luke got married?
Remember when Luke got married in a pretty like big event galactic wise, and that's kind of just ignored. Sure. And, you know,
give him some slack here, okay? Mara was imprisoned because she was partying too hard with Mirex Tarek.
Why a 40-year-old married woman would go out to party is anybody's best guess.
Would you, if the other option, hey, spend time with your husband, the fucking Jedi teacher at like Jedi Hogwarts on a fucking jungle planet.
And you know, if the reason why this never was revealed before was to not spoil Hand of Thrawn, maybe adjust your publishing dates, because it's kind of stupid to write shit that doesn't make any sense, so you don't write the sensible stuff that would spoil other books. You shouldn't do that, maybe. I don't know, but that's...
Or write things that would make sense. Without that context anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well, whatever. I have never published a book, so what would I know? But yeah, Mara is there, and yeah, she immediately approves of Jaina becoming her apprentice, which is great. Before she can even ask about it, that was kind of a sweet scene. That she's immediately like, "Yep, you'll be my student." Oh yeah, that was kind of funny, I guess, that Jaina is not quite her mom's height, and I think Carrie Fisher's like 155.
No, she's 150.
150?
Yeah, Jaina is canonically 149.
I guess, yeah, so she's like, damn. She is really short.
Extremely.
Yeah. And she takes her Z95 for a test ride, basically. And while she's flying, she meets a cyborg who believes that the ship that she's currently flying is stolen. And yeah, he's kind of confused, it seems, because apparently when a human becomes a cyborg and it gets bombarded with information from like his central computer, at some point the human mind starts to recede, and you kind of lose that, just all your natural human qualities about yourself, because you're just too too caught up with trying to process all that digital information, which was kind of an interesting thing. I don't think we ever spoke about how exactly those things can impact cyborgs.
I think briefly in Black Fleet.
Maybe briefly with Lobot. I think that might have been the case actually. But it was nice, I guess, to get this explicit explanation. Like, when that's just a natural thing for cyborgs to happen at some point, and it sounds totally believable. So now he isn't listening to her, of course. So they fight, and of course Jaina wins at some point, and there is a pretty nice lesson from Mara here that Jaina is trying to focus on, where Jaina is supposed to, that this is kind of the thing, she becomes the focus, and so she becomes like the center of the focus instead of just focusing on something. And the metaphor that's used is that she is becoming to the ship what a crystal would be for a lightsaber. So she is the literal focus of energy. And she focuses with the Force on her ship only, basically, to pilot much more efficiently than she did beforehand, which was really nice, and that also makes sense. Yeah, the Force is only gonna improve your piloting skills, and this also, when we're going to talk about Vector Prime, feels very in tune with what we read about the piloting skills of the Solo Kids, especially. So that's a good connection because it fits really well. And of course, then she defeats the enemy, but she doesn't kill him. He's getting saved, and she arrives back on Yavin 4 from her little trip, and she kind of doesn't tell her parents. She's just like, oh yeah, I ran into some trouble, and then she finds a name for her ship, which is the Crystal, because that was the lesson she learned when she took the ship for its first ride. And that's it. That's a short story. I was like, that this is not too crazy, but it's a nice little short story that
it works. There's a nice little dichotomy with her and the cyborg pilot, because the cyborg is literally becoming part of the ship, whereas she's figuratively and has to become one with the ship.
Exactly. That's true, actually. I didn't think about that. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And it's this kind of thing that you can only do really when you have the Force. So it's very specific to her in this scenario here. And I'm like, I think it's the first time that I thought, like, that I read Jaina in a story and I thought she was a good character in it. Like, she was fine in the Crystal Star. She was pretty good there, but other than that, I don't remember too much of her ever being interesting in any way so far. So that was nice, actually.
So I like that she's only good in the Crystal Star and the Crystal.
Yes.
that is true, right?
Maybe Dark Journey she's also great. It should have been called the Crystal Journey.
The Dark Journey Crystal or something.
The Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal Journey. Yeah, there's lots of possibilities here. And that's it. I actually have nothing more to say. I gave it like a 7 to 8 out of 10. I think I'll actually give it like an 8 out of 10 at least, because
that's fair.
This is great.
I think I have 7.5 written down, but it works. It's a good one.
It's a good book. Good
Elaine
book.
Cunningham, underrated author.
Yeah, and I guess I the only thing I know about Elaine Cunningham is that she's kind of one of the few people who writes Jaina centric, because I can tell from Dark Journey that it's supposed to be more Jaina centric.
Mm-hmm.
Good on her. Good job. Can't tell anything more.
We got robbed when her Zack novel got cancelled.
I could have done with another book instead of a Zack book, but I guess if she's writing on that level, sure.
Yeah. It was gonna be. It sounded actually fun because it was set in the miserable nightmare that is the Denningverse, and it was just gonna be like a fun rom-com adventure type of stuff with Zack, like the stoic Jedi, and he's having an adventure with these two redhead twins, and there's a bit of romance and stuff. Could have been a decent story.
If
she just retcons Zack's character completely, like who cares at that point?
Yeah, or just like put another character in there that you would, I don't know, put Reyna in there and let him have a joy.
Let him be happy after Darkness.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, true. Reyna's in Darkness, right?
Oh, he's the main villain. And then he's not in Legacy of the Force. Then he returns in Fate of the Jedi, and he kind of gets like a redemption, I'm gonna say. And then in the very last book, he gets ruined once again, and that's the last we see of him.
Next Generation, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna ruin somebody's life with that, Fabe, like trying to make somebody read Young Jedi Knights. That should only be reserved for like the worst of your enemies. But yeah, that's it. There's nothing more to say, really. We've talked about everything that we wanted to talk about. Do read The Crystal. Don't read Young Jedi Knights, because you don't even need Young Jedi Knights for The Crystal.
No.
Like, nothing is referenced of it. Just
I also like how you also know how people say, oh, you need to read Young Jedi Knights. I also hear people say, oh, you just gotta read the first 6 books to get a taste of what it is. And the rest is not that important, because you just need to know about these characters. Which is also bullshit, but
that's bullshit. Yeah, I don't like if Zach is not even gonna be really a part of this.
These characters are so important. They only show up halfway through the New Jedi Order series. Like there is not. I don't even think there's a mention of Tanilka or Zach before Star by Star.
I mean, so far in Vector Prime, I haven't encountered one.
Yeah. Junior Jedi Knights is more important. There's an entire duology and a novella focused on like Junior Jedi Knight stuff.
Actually building 2 characters from the ground up, and
Uldir.
Uldir, Ikrit
gets his own goddamn novella, and it's excellent.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's great.
Yeah, he's the main character of Emissary of the Void.
Yeah. That's nice. That's actually nice.
And it's fucking awesome.
I was kind of expecting to never see him again. That's cool, actually.
You're not going to see him again after that one, but it's a decent ending, and I'm glad we don't see him again, because we know what follows.
Like, people used to say, oh, we're never going to see him again, as kind of a bad thing. Like, oh, what a shame that we don't see these characters again. Now it's usually
a mercy.
Sign. Yeah, it's a good sign. It's like, oh, okay, they can't be ruined afterwards. Thank God. They're in their finished state, and that's it. Yeah. No, but this is it. It's been a fucking pain in the ass, but we're done with it. It's definitely fun to talk about these things. It's not fun to read them, and it's whether it was.
You're slowly getting on my level. Exactly. Next is New Jedi Order. It's something fun. It's something good.
Not quite. Next is Rogue Planet.
Oh yeah, right.
For which I should probably have time next week. That should work. Yeah. So yeah, next stream.
I think it should be good.
I think I'll see. It should probably be okay. So yeah, next weekend we'll talk about Rogue Planet. Then the week afterwards I'll be on vacation, actually. So that's gonna be a thing. And then finally we're gonna speak about Vector Prime, which I'm like more than halfway done with at this point. So yeah, I'll be easily done with it by the time the stream comes up.
You're probably going to be in the middle of maybe even book 3 of Dark Tide, like the second Dark Tide book, I mean.
Yeah, I'll have a look, considering that we're supposed to drive to Copenhagen for vacation, so that's going to be like a 10-hour drive back and forth. I'll have plenty of time to read things, so that's going to be nice.
You read them physically, right?
Yeah, I have them.
Better take a couple of them with you. I'm just saying, because when I reread the series, I finished it in 3 months. Like, no, 2.5 actually. Because I just sped through it. Because
don't forget about Chewbacca.
Oh yeah, the Chewbacca comic.
Oh, the comic. Yeah, I mean,
that own that physically, or are you just gonna?
What else is on there? Like short stories?
I mean, Emissary of the Void Recovery.
But that's Emissary of the Void is already by
that's later.
Edge of Victory.
Yeah.
I think it's just Chewie. That's the extra before Emissary of the Void. Right?
Yeah.
I might even own the comic, but I mean, if I don't, I'm gonna read it digitally.
Basically, just read Chewbacca anyway, right after Vector Prime, before you go on vacation.
Right after Vector Prime. Okay, yeah.
We can do it with Dark Tide 1. That's fine.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll be finished with that before I go to vacation, probably. So yeah, that's gonna be easy.
Chewie is the only extra until Emissary of the Void in recovery.
Okay, well, yeah, then that's that. Yeah, I'll see. I actually once when we drove to Serbia, I think in that entire trip I managed to finish I think at least 6 or 7 EU books or something. I don't remember. It's been too long, but I managed a surprising amount of them. So yeah, I'll take a couple of them with me, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. That's it. So we're done here. Finally. It's been a hell of a ride. I'll end the stream now, and we'll see each other probably next week for Rogue Planet. So
Yay.
until then, see you guys. Bye-bye.